Welcome back, everyone. It's Thursday, December 22nd. Yesterday we had Micron earnings. Curious to see if anyone played them. And we have all of you, so thank you for coming back. Let me invite a couple of you up, and if you haven't had a chance to speak yet, please raise your hand in the bottom left, and we'll invite you up.
So I will keep my play brief as it is numbers heavy. However, for preface to this investment, I would like to make note of the inverse Kramer ETF, which is more than doubled. I present to the forum the inverse Ackman portfolio. Just do the opposite, whatever the fuck Bill Ackman does. That being said, some deltas on the January 2024 expiring Netflix put options, just straight up naked puts. You don't have any equity, naked puts. The delta gives you over a 50% chance of profit, and I'm willing to flip the coin that this company will go bankrupt by the time the expiration date comes around. So I'm going short on Netflix. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Nice.
Hey guys, I wanted to put in here that CarMax, terrible earnings this morning. They expected 76 cents a share or 79 cents a share. They got 24 cents a share. That's still a profit lightly, but 1/3 of what they expected and 1/8 of their profit from a year ago this quarter. Used cars are down. We knew this was going to be happening soon. I predicted it 3 months ago. It's taken it longer to come to fruition, but CarMax down big. You'll probably see them go down a little bit more over the next few days. Yeah, that's not good at all. We talked about it this morning. There's some other plays in there for the car advertisers, maybe Car Gurus or Cars.com. Those are possible forward-leading plays. But I think CarMax actually has some to go down over the next day or two as people tend away from their stock. NVIDIA is down this morning in, I think, sympathy with Micron Technologies. They were at a loss. They literally took a loss per share. They're reducing 10% of their staff or costs or expenses. So they are in trouble. Micron will have room to go down too. It's going to be an interesting month or two coming up here. Today is jobless claims and tomorrow PCE.
Yeah, CarMax is down about 13.5% pre-market. So yeah, it is hurting them bad today.
24-hour test drives. Name another dealership that'll do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you feeling down today? Let me tell you what, it's Christmas time coming up, holidays. It doesn't matter what you think this time of year is, but if you're investing and you're losing money, that's because the Grinch stole Christmas. But the Christmas rally is just around the corner. So make sure you ask money from your family this year so you can get right in after Christmas. And don't forget, Monday, the market's closed. That's December 26th, or 27th, 2022. Thank you.
You were right, December 26th.
Sorry, that Japan altered time.
That was great.
I honestly thought you were going to break into a CarMax commercial.
So,
I mean,
am I the only one that wants interest rates to keep going up so we can see who's swimming naked in this giant swamp of money?
I don't know. I feel like I'd be scarred for life if I saw that.
So jobless claims 216,000 for the week ending on the 17th. Sounds about the same number it was last time.
What was the expected number?
I'm not seeing that. Does anyone else see that?
Guys, hello. What do you think about Carnival stocks? The cruise, it's winter and people go vacation now.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is an ignorant question, but can you get Wi-Fi on those yet? Like, I don't want to be stuck at sea and not have a morning Wall Street Bets talk to come to. Like, that's why I don't book a cruise and instead I book a flight.
But were the reasons you changed your entire mode of transportation? Damn.
Also, you can attend a Wall Street Bets talk in the air. That's impressive.
Well, technically, no, because a lot of those airlines, they say you can't use the internet for communication, like call communications.
So yeah,
Emirates
expected
does.
jobless claims was 222,000, actual 216. That's up from 214 the previous time.
Looks like that's going to be slightly bearish today.
Yeah, sorry, not enough poor people getting poorer. Sorry for the bad news.
How much poorer do you want me to be? What?
Hey, I'm pulling extra overtime behind the dumpster myself. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that's fair. And how does that compare to previous jobless claims? Like, sure, we were down. Yeah. How does it compare to previous jobless claims?
The previous one was 214, so it's pretty much the same.
What about Warner Brothers Discovery?
I feel like this
What do
guy's
you
just
think
naming
about-
random stocks.
What do you think about Warner Brothers Discovery? We're more than happy to talk about stocks. There's no problem with that. But at least give us something like, what about Warner Brothers Discovery? I like X. Like, just give us a starting point. We'll help you.
Well, I read some news about they changed some directors. They expect to make a new DC universe with a new director. But I don't know. Maybe it's the down was about tax evasion. I don't know. Big corporates.
Big corporate. I feel you.
Those are some words.
Has ChatGPT gained a voice yet?
Not yet, although I think there are AI voices. Oh, I see. All right, but back to
So help me understand. Microsoft has a stake in OpenAI. Yes. So if I want to invest in ChatGPT, Microsoft calls. Am I mistaken?
You are mistaken because that is owned by Elon Musk. So technically, last time I checked, Bill Gates had a short on Tesla. I'm not sure if. Never mind. I digress. I'm pretty sure Elon would love all the money he can get right now.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, Microsoft, I think their stake is like $1 billion, which is huge, but Microsoft is huger, as they say. So probably a better bet would be something like Google, who has DeepMind.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I mean that's a fucking very appetizing stock under $100 a share. I mean, I make that every day. That's coming out of my wallet into Robinhood. So,
But like in both cases, they're like a tiny, small segment of their company. So unless you see it literally like 1,000x in
but
value,
100 days and then you get leverage.
oh dear. Okay. In
So,
other news, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if anyone heard about Okta, the identity access management company, getting its entire source code hacked. I guess their private GitHub repositories were compromised. So I don't think it actually, like, technically will hurt any of their existing customers insofar as, like, the identity, like, tokens that are being generated are independent of the software. but as a going concern for the company, they now have their IP, which, as a software business, that's pretty much, the entirety of their business, now available to the dark web or whatever hacking group was able to get access to those GitHub tokens. I didn't see the stock move that, and I think in fact it went up slightly on the day, which I thought was remarkable because like a security and identity access management company getting compromised and then their source code getting stolen seems existentially important to the company and impactful on the downside. But I don't know if anyone else in technology was able to catch that story and has any thoughts there. I put some puts on my watch list, but I was just kind of shocked by it not moving downward.
So I'm gonna pull the subject for a second. Because I'm seeing AMC down 23% and Ape up 62. Did they announce the conversion vote? Did the thing that I took a lotto on actually happen for once?
That's exactly what I was looking at. Yeah, I'm
Because
not sure.
it's moving like they announced that they're gonna vote for it. I don't see any news about it though, but that's exactly the move that I was expecting if they were gonna call that vote.
Got the
go.
AMC. All right. Well, we'll circle back to that once we get an answer for AMC or Ape, or anyone can just chime in. But until then, what were we talking about just before?
I might have missed it, but I'm sure you guys talked about CarMax. But I know there's a couple people in here that sell used cars and stuff. When do you think it becomes a buyout opportunity? Like around 40, maybe? I mean, I think CarMax is a really good platform. I mean, obviously, they're going to get tanked with the economy, but at what point do they become a really nice play back to the upside? Just curious.
When they have 2 quarters where they hit their estimated goal. They estimated 79 cents a share. They got 24. They're estimating 70 plus cents a share for next quarter. I think that's irresponsible, their management. Right now, the car sales and the auction sales and the opportunities are just not there. I am looking at possible car gurus and cars.com for slight upticks because of increased advertising, but neither one reports until the end of January. So they may fall in conjunction because they're advertisers. So I am not thinking about investing in CarMax at all. I think it goes $40, maybe sub 40 over the next month or two. And if interest rate doesn't get every day on people where they're willing to go buy the cars again, which a lot of them are buried in their cars right now from the low interest rate but the high car prices. So I don't see it turning around, but I'll let you guys know when I see sales increase month over year for that month. For right now, like I said, we're about 60% to maybe 70% of our actual sales. But what hurts CarMax is they were at 1/8 of their profit for the same quarter last year. So that shows
they got hosed. I'm not doubting that, but I'm assuming they're still the leader in this specific.
Oh, they still made a profit. A profit, but they're not a $40 stock price. It's 40 to 1. If they stay at 25 cents a share every quarter, at $40, they're 40 times price to earnings ratio. That's too high in this market for high interest rates and falling car prices. When the car prices fall and level out, I'll let you guys know. I don't expect that to happen until at least March, but they're falling right now and they are not bouncing back up. The only thing that's good right now is for new cars. The crew cab trucks and some specialty vehicles are hard to get, so they still have a 6-month backlog for those if you order them. One they don't have, or even a crew cab truck. It's hard to get a Ram crew cab truck. I had a customer yesterday came in and bought a used one from us because he needed a tax write-off for the tax year, and he could not get a crew cab Ram diesel for 6 months because there were none being made. So it's one of those things. Specialty cars, you're good. Every other car, people are going to be sitting on them for a while. So I don't expect CarMax to have a turnaround even by next quarter, but I will keep you guys updated as month to month as things go and change for me.
Yeah, Carvana's moving pre-market as well, down 4%. I don't know if this would move with that or not, but similar space.
Carvana was being held up last week because of the $5 put action. They wanted to finish over $5, and they did. It's fallen in the first 3 days this week because of that. And I expect Carvana's next quarter to be just as bad as this one. They'll run out of shareholder equity unless they can sell some property. So Carvana, by next financial statement, which is about 2 months away, I see them at $2 a share. So take that as you will. I'm not telling you to play it. That's what I'm playing because there's money to be made there. And they spike up every once in a while. They were up to 440 yesterday. Every time they get close to 440, 450, even $5 on a spike, I'll be buying puts for February, I believe, is when their next earnings is. I'll have to check and figure out when the next one is again. But yeah, I'm playing the car business on the way down. Advertising will pick up, but I don't see the advertisers making money either. So it's one of those things that you got about 6 months until Ford, GM, Stellantis all start showing the pain of the dealers having cars and not being able to sell them. So just keep that play on the back burner for a while, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, in regards to Carvana, I'm doing the same thing. But in the meantime, the fact that they kept holding it up, I was selling cash secured puts this week and last week, picking up those pennies from the steamroller, so to speak. And then I'm going to be doing the same thing. I think that's a good play.
So just going to read the AMC news at 8:40. It sounds like they're planning to propose. They're proposing a vote to convert AMC preferred equity units into AMC common shares and implement a reverse stock split. I think 1 to 10. They've also announced $110 million in equity capital raise, and that was mainly through the sale of 8 units to Antera Capital. So I'm assuming that's to jump in for the 8 this morning.
So they're essentially selling $110 million worth of APE at 60 cents. Then they're going to call a vote where that new company that they're getting the equity through now has a buttload of APE to convert AMC or APE to AMC at a 1-to-1 vote. That company's going to overwhelm the vote, clear the conversion, and then probably sell off a bunch of AMC at a much higher rate than the money they lent, is essentially what's coming out of this.
Well, way to call the play, Rad.
Sometimes, if you keep saying the same thing every single day, eventually it randomly happens, and then you can pretend like you're smart.
I wonder how that's going for the Bed Bath & Beyond crowd.
Oh. But the question is, even if you knew this was coming, could you have made money on it? Because Ape has declined in price so much since it was created.
We'll see where Ape ends up. I mean, I bought it at like 67 cents because at that point I was like, screw it, it's so low. They have so much debt, whatever. But we'll see.
Wait, you bought Ape at 67 cents?
It was so low and they desperately needed money. I didn't put a ton into it.
That's incredible. That's like the low, isn't it? Like, I think it went literally as low as 65 cents. So
listen, if you're dumb and you keep doing stupid things, eventually one stupid thing will turn into a smart thing, and you can pretend like you know what you're talking about.
So, just a side note, today is T plus 90 for Ape as well. So that's interesting.
The difference between stupidity and brilliance is the outcome.
Listen, I'm going to go buy the big Hershey bar with like the peanuts in it and everything. I can't wait to cash this out.
He can afford to get snacks at the next AMC movie he sees.
I didn't put that much money into it. Oh, since it came up though, if anyone's like, "Oh, should I get in?" No, don't touch it. This is a garbage play that did its thing.
I thought the difference between stupidity and brilliance was when you decided to hit the buy button.
So on a serious note, I'm definitely curious what you guys think of the new Avatar movie. I have not seen it, but I've heard nothing but bad reviews from everybody. Can someone please give me a good review and why I should hold on to my Disney puts longer?
So far, I think the movie's crossed 500 million international. I think it may be getting close to being like the fastest movie to cross $1 billion in maybe like 7 more days is the estimate so far. Again, I think a lot of stuff is put on the opening weekend, and I didn't care for the first one, but I do have tickets to see it on Saturday with my family. But I think in the end, like with the first Avatar, that it was how long the movie was in theaters is what allowed it to get so big. So I think a lot of it depends on how well it does this second weekend. If it's only looking at like a 40% dip, I think that means that the movie has legs and it has a chance to probably be profitable and, hit that $2 billion international mark that it needs.
Yeah, I don't for Avatar yet, just with the holiday like that. I think it's going to be bigger at the box office with the holiday like that. Kids are out of school, that kind of thing. We just hadn't seen that reflected yet.
Yeah, and it had like the biggest opening Tuesday of the year for this calendar year for movies, which I think, the other one was like July 5th for Minions. I think this, even though it is a sequel, it does just seem to be like a really big event movie. And again, I think it could follow something like Top Gun, where Top Gun was just in the theaters for so long and, made like $700 million in the US or whatever.
Can someone let me up? I have to switch to my cell phone. So bring me up on my other device, my hand right.
Yeah, we'll boot you up. Go ahead.
Hey, Guy, can you say theater again?
Theater.
Nice.
They should release the Wednesday numbers today. I'm thinking probably around like 9:30. So I think that'll be a good estimate just to see what that drop off is for each day. And my play is that I have Disney options that expire just next week. I'm just thinking that maybe the second weekend will kind of boost them up a little bit. But and again, we're talking like $150 max in this play for some call options.
Anybody want to talk about Tesla and Apple? Got a lot of comments asking, what do you think about Apple? What do you think about Tesla?
Just regarding the Disney play, Rogue One did 550 million and opened around the same week.
Man, if there's one company we just don't talk about enough in here, it's definitely Tesla.
I heard an interesting theory that Tesla is going to kind of hamper Elon for a while because of his margin through the Twitter acquisition. And it pretty much leaves him in a spiral to sell more stock. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Elon's just selling. That's why the price keeps dumping. He's an idiot.
Now on Apple, you said you were going with Apple puts, right?
That's correct. I'm going to be having apple slices today with some chocolate and some caramel. Looking for Apple to swing down. There was somebody by the name of, I forgot his name actually, but when it comes to me, I'll remember and I'll let you guys know. But he was saying that he was going into Apple hard. He lost a lot of money. And I took a look at the chart and I was like, wow, this thing has not taken a haircut. The high was 182.94 in the last 5 years. That's its high. And it's currently sitting at 135.45. I said, this thing needs to get a fucking haircut. Microsoft, everyone else got a haircut. Why doesn't Apple get a haircut? And let's not forget the daughter.
They're down 20% for the year for a
exactly
$2 trillion company. I mean,
sure. I would agree to that, but I would also add in that they have room to fill some gaps, if you believe in that gap trading stuff, at 120 and around 115. And it looks like it's bound for a home run there. So, it's anyone's game. It could gap up today to 140 and I could totally be wrong. So take your own DD and run with the wind.
Yeah, the PE is like 22. I think Apple.
Are we really talking about PE and stuff? I mean, I'm not trying to be an asshole here, guys, but like at the end of the day, PE doesn't matter. People are trying to
No, I know. Let me finish.
portfolios.
I didn't
Come on.
finish yet. I didn't finish. I was just gonna say that despite that, the fact that it's still making a lot of money and it's people are just trading right now off of sentiment. I believe after this downturn, whatever the bottom is, Apple will fire back up. So I just
Oh,
think,
so did you just buy their whole lot of iPhone 14s that couldn't sell?
well, they couldn't sell because everybody's scared about the economy, right? So this is like,
Bro, did you not see the daughter of Steve Jobs write in a freaking Instagram, "Hey, why would I buy the iPhone 14 when the iPhone 13 literally is the same?" Did you not see that?
no, I know. No, what I'm saying is that, but still short term, right? People usually update their phones every year or 2 years, probably every 2 years now. But Apple as a company has been pivoting into services a lot, right? And their services is growing massively right now for the past 3-4 years. So they're gonna like take over a big chunk of a lot of current companies and the services. That's why there's a lot of legal battles happening right now with like Spotify and other companies that use their platform, and they're just basically charging 30% per app and then discounting their app. So I think right now Apple's just going down because of sentiment, but as soon as consumer spending comes back and people are not scared about the recession, I think Apple will just fly again.
Hey, I like your Apple play.
And I don't think consumer spending is coming back anytime soon.
It depends on what you believe with the inflation, I think. I think a lot of people believe, traders believe inflation is going to get worse and recession is going to be bad. But it depends on who you talk to. People are saying,
Yeah, here's an interesting one to look at. DRT, Dirt. They're a direct steel case competitor. They build office wall interiors. I work directly in the field. It's a battered stock this year, down from $8 to around 50 cents. They need to stay around $1 to stay listed on the TSX. So we're looking at a good run up here potentially.
so on Tesla, I think that there's more downtrending to happen because of Elon. It's purely Elon right now. Tesla was trading with the matching the Nasdaq, but since he took over Twitter in November, that stock has just been dumping. I feel like people are hating on Tesla. I think Tesla will rebound, and the only stupid person will be Elon because he dumps so much of his cash just to save Twitter.
What do you think about Nike? Do you think that 12% shoot up yesterday was just an overreaction to their earnings? But realistically,
I think that's a reaction to them being phenomenal business operators. Ultimately, like they ran a really good business, and I think to some degree they deserve the praise.
yeah, they have really good slave labor.
I mean,
Yeah, I
who
mean, the
doesn't?
softening dollar has to help as well because they do a lot of business overseas. Despite what somebody said yesterday, they do a lot of business overseas. So a Starbucks, a Nike, an Apple, those should all benefit from a softening dollar.
Yeah, agreed. But I mean, the key for them was just inventory levels, right? Where Lululemon had an 83% increase in inventory. You've got other TJ Maxx's of the world increasing inventory. They managed to sell their inventory essentially down to the bare bones and can from a cash flow perspective, that's enormous. Again, from just a business operation standpoint.
Yeah, that's true. I will say I went to Kohl's yesterday and the only shoes that were around, and that could be more Kohl's than anything else, of the athletics were like these horrible black Nikes. Like there's no colors. It seemed like it was completely stocked out. So I don't know if the inventory levels will have some kind of whipsaw effect where they may not have enough on hand to sell to people.
So I'd just correct you guys on that. Seems like inventory went up 43% year over year. Just posted the link in the comments to their press release. Just try to find it quarter over quarter. But yeah.
Did anyone see that YouTube won the Sunday NFL ticket? Is that going to affect Google stock in any way, or is it YouTube not a big enough section of Google?
I would say, how did it help Amazon? But the argument there is that YouTube obviously has the viewership, so I think it will help Google a lot. I think Google is meant and has the technology for streaming that kind of thing versus Amazon, right? No, Amazon's like, okay, what do I got to do? I guess I'm for Prime. Oh, okay. I mean, YouTube, it's there, right? Yeah, I think the answer is in the pudding there. Yeah, definitely help them.
Well, won't that be through YouTube TV, not just standard YouTube? I think YouTube TV is sort of like a new way of doing like
YouTube
a
TV.
cable subscription.
Yeah, it's
so you can't watch it if I have YouTube Premium. I can't watch it.
I don't think so. There's like a different app for YouTube TV, and it's like a different subscription level. It's like $40-$50 a month or something like that. I mean, I think the NFL, Sunday ticket's a big deal. Like from a advertising standpoint, those are pretty valuable eyeballs. And
Well, from a restaurant standpoint, all those restaurants that want to take advantage of that traffic on Sundays, they all get the Sunday NFL ticket, and they all had to have DirecTV in the past, and they hated it because I used to sell DirecTV, and they hated having to have a satellite on the restaurant. So now this changes the game because they can all just get YouTube TV with the Sunday NFL ticket. Now more restaurants can get it, the ones that didn't have the satellite option in the past. So it's going to open up revenue crazy, I think.
Does Sunday ticket come with Red Zone? Because I know that's one of the ones that people who cut the cord have been trying to find a way to get into.
Red Zone's a separate thing, but YouTube TV has their own like Red Zone type thing. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, just to update. So quarter over quarter inventory did fall from 9.6 to 9.3. Cash is also down from 7.2 to 6.4. And yeah, so the inventory levels
17%.
Yeah, margins are compressing though. Quarter over quarter went from last quarter 5.6. This is gross profit to 5.7, even though revenue rose from 12.6 to 13.3. So they only made $100 million on almost $1 billion extra in revenue.
Okay, and I want to let everyone know I posted a link to the GDP numbers down in the comments. Looks like they came in pretty hot. 3.2% growth for the third quarter. That's instead of the 2.6 that was expected. And one number in particular that stood out to me is disposable personal income increased 242 billion, which was about 7 billion more than expected. So it looks like again, people are getting a lot more money in their pocket. That's bad for the stock market. If you look at SPY, it's drilling quite a bit pre-market.
Yeah, and just to build on that, if you look at the real disposable income, it also increased by 1%. So people are actually on a real basis wealthier from that standpoint as well, which is not good.
I don't know if that's not good.
Wait, what about inflation though? If it's only a 1%, you're not even taking into account inflation, so they're not wealthier.
Yeah.
They have less buying power right
So
He said real disposable income. Real takes into account inflation, guys.
I was going to say this is one of the things that people say it might be a soft landing because inflation is going down, but people still have cash and people are still well off. The economy is still good. So for those who think the recession might be bad, this is an indicator that it might not be so bad as people think, I think.
I would say the main problem here is, though, that given that we've got it's still relatively high inflation, And now JPOW has the green light to increase his rate even further. So it might be a soft landing, but I'd rather lean towards a mild recession of sorts, because as we said, GDP has risen for like 0.1%. We've got a lot of disposable income, as we said earlier, and in addition to that, the jobless claims are not as much as we thought it would be. Therefore, I'd say maybe a mild recession might be coming for us.
Year-over-year inflation is not decreasing. Until that happens, at least for me, a few months in a row, inflation is still increasing, in my point, and probably in the Fed.
Guys, just as a reminder, when you guys are story timing, giving info, giving good insights and stuff, can you give some plays? People are getting bored in the comment section.
Yeah, can we go back to the AMC ape thing?
Well, Rad has been calling this for I don't know, Rad. How many months now? 7, 8 months?
Not that long, like 1. I think since their last earnings.
I also started buying ape when it went under $1 as well because of the conversion thing. So the announcement's made. They're going to vote. I guess I just want to know that I understand what's going to happen correctly. So they're going to convert all or X amount of the ape into AMC and then reverse split to bring the float back to a reasonable number.
Oh.
But what this basically, so if it's X amount of ape, right, then they're going to have to balance the market caps and like, so that's going to mean that AMC is going to go down significantly. Basically, it's going to affect the price almost like a dilution, if I'm understanding it correctly, right? Because there's no options on ape, right? So if ape's got to go up to a point, it's going to then come back down. That's going to be tough to play if you're not already in. But like, there might be some serious AMC puts on the table.
Yeah,
So
and
here's
the
the
split as well.
So here's the backstory, and hopefully I'll do this really quick, and hopefully this will make everything make sense. Essentially, AMC tried to raise more cash through AMC because they need cash, and the shareholders voted no. So then they made Ape, which they were allowed to raise up to $1 billion through. But Ape isn't AMC. But then they said, oh, by the way, Ape shares are the equivalent of an AMC share in both voting power and conversion, which like you never do with preferred shares. So they essentially are just backdooring a way to convert it and then say, hey, now we can issue that $1 billion worth of stock in order to make money and pay for our debts. So it's going to absolutely destroy AMC, and Ape will probably take a hit ultimately. It's just the price gap when it was 67 cents for Ape versus $5 for AMC, it was worth that little chance that, hey, this might happen and Ape goes to $1.20 and I'm gone. So I hope that like kind of breaks down what's happening. They want to dilute their shareholders and raise cash. They couldn't do it through AMC, so now they're just doing it with Ape.
Yeah, no, I get that it's essentially a dilution. I'm just wondering how much are they literally going to convert? So there's going to be no more ape. They're going to do it all, because I'm trying to figure out like a strike price on the put, right? Like, how far the dilution is going to go, right? Like,
their plan is, if this vote passes, from what I understand, all Ape converts to AMC, all of it. And remember that every AMC shareholder, when Ape was created, got an Ape share along with their AMC shares. So there's a lot of it out there.
So I guess the company already voted to convert the ape units to common shares. So this isn't a pending matter, apparently.
so right now, the announcement says that there is a proposed vote.
Yeah, the shareholders still have to vote if they want this or not. But the thing is, there's more Ape in existence than there are AMC shares. And the theory is the shareholders are going to say, of course, I want my 67-cent stock to actually convert to something worth $5. So I'm going to vote yes.
Yeah. So essentially, buy a couple hundred Ape shares and watch it double.
No, this play was the only play here was to have it before this was announced. Now that it's announced, I've already sold. Like, I don't want to play this anymore. This was to get it before it was announced, let it pop, and then go away. I would not want to be playing it right now. There's way too much screwing around that's going to happen.
Yeah, right now an Ape share is $1, an AMC share is $5.30, but an Ape share converts to 1/100th of an AMC share. currently.
No, it's a 1-to-1 conversion.
Well, no. Current. Well, I don't know. On Yahoo Finance or whatever, APE is defined as 1/100th of an AMC share. But my point being, that's the potential loss. So if it falls through, you're looking at turning $1 into what, 15 cents? Or no, even less than that. A penny or 2 cents, maybe.
1/100th of a dollar would be a penny. Good job.
Oh,
So,
good.
I don't know what Yahoo Finance is talking about, but I know I've looked into this. They have 1-to-1 voting power, and it's 1-to-1 conversion. That's what made this play so stupid. Was it was clear at some point they were going to screw over shareholders.
For sure. I know that the vote hasn't passed. I'm saying currently. So if it didn't, that's what you stand to lose. Sorry.
All right, I got you.
If it votes, then it would, of course, 500% return.
Keep
Ideally.
in mind, it's probably going to pass. They just issued out essentially 110 million worth of APE in order to secure financing. That now that company's getting at 60 cents a share, so you can math out how much APE they now have, and all those votes are going to vote yes, right?
That's the most logical thing, assuming the common shareholders have enough voting power.
Microsoft down $4 pre-market.
Yesterday was dividend day for anyone holding NTDOY.
Like, so AA actually gave out APE to somebody who he owes money to pay the fucking debt, and then he's going to propose a shareholder vote. They're obviously going to vote. Oh my god!
No, they didn't use it as debt.
Literally backdoored apes.
He didn't use it. I mean, it's ultimately being used for debt, but no, he essentially sold it for $110 million to a company that was willing to use it for financing. And then
I think he gave them ape shares. I think that's what it's saying. He gave them ape shares.
They're purchasing ape shares at 60 cents. If you read it on their website, they're purchasing it at 60 cents a share for 110 million's worth of ape shares. And then that's securing AMC the money they need, and then the vote's going to happen. Those shares are going to convert to AMC, and that company's then going to dump it all because they only took this on because they can just dump a bunch of AMC at a better price.
But also, that company's going to use those 140 million votes.
Oh yeah, they're voting yes with all those votes. That's what I mean. Like, if you aren't in this already, the play's
I'm
late.
not missing this though. That APE shares are going to convert 1-to-1 ratio to AMC shares, correct?
1-to-1 conversion and equal voting power. Preferred shares never have equal voting power, but these do. This was literally a way for AMC to backdoor dilution and raise cash off their shareholders once they voted no to diluting AMC. That's what this has always been.
100%. That's exactly what's happening.
So how low we going today in SPY? We going all the way down to 380, you think?
I think we go to 390 today.
Why? It's all right. I get it. The hopium is strong. You want to believe in Santa. That's cool.
Yes, and my hopium. That's what I have right now.
I just saw someone who Opinion wouldn't like. Someone working for the Wounded Warrior Project says, Opinion hates veterans.
Oh, son of a bitch.
He doesn't hate veterans. He hates acknowledging them and the benefits that they've earned through their sacrifices for their nation. It's totally different.
Yeah.
Speaking of Veterans Day, Lou says that IHOP has specials on breakfast.
So, calls on IHOP?
Wait, what does IHOP have?
It's a Veterans Day joke. If you were here for Veterans Day, Lou.
Oh yeah, no, I was here for that. I thought you were saying there's another one.
No. That was just me quoting what Lou said on Veterans Day for Opinion. All right, let's talk 4 plays again.
Kind of surprised.
I'm going back to CarMax. CarMax did not report very well at all. They did 1/3 of what they expected as their earnings per share. They also did about 1/8 of their total profit from 1 year ago's quarter. Way overvalued right now. I will be looking at probably, I'm going to say the next month out put under $48. I'll look for a strike price here soon. I'm driving, but yeah, CarMax, I'm looking for under $48 within the next month.
The ticker's KMX for anyone wondering.
I know there was a large drop-off last few days, but if you want to be safer, go 3 months out for the next financial statement. You'll see there's a lot more room for this to fall. Yeah, it's right now. CarMax rode the used car boom that the used car companies, that the rental car companies created. When the chip shortage happened, the rental car companies went to the auctions, purchased up all the 1 and 2 year old cars with low miles on them, paid way over retail for them. That's what caused your used cars price spike. And now the prices are coming back down and the rates are back up.
CarMax currently trading at $52.06 pre-market. It was closed yesterday at $59.37. I will be going in. Or Opinion, did you have something to say? Sorry, I know you wanted to say something there.
Oh no, thank you. But I was just gonna shout out the person in the comments who keeps screaming Costco puts. I don't know anything else that he wants to say because he just writes Costco puts, but that's pretty much it. You can go ahead.
I was just going to say, everybody, that I'm going to be going into Apple puts, 130 puts. I'm looking. I want to go in this week weeklies, but it's quite, obviously a little risque. But it looks a little promising to me the most. And then I'm also going to be going into CarMax puts. I'm looking for the 46 strike, currently at 0.25, so probably will open up around 0.40. And then Disney, yes, you heard right. I want a little bit of Disney blood on my hands, no pun intended, because I'm looking at the 84 puts right now. Going there for this week, currently at 9 cents. I assume they'll open up around 14 cents. That's my place for today.
So yesterday, Teleron also again went down again. So they're about, I think they closed 185 on the day. So they took a nasty hit on Tuesday. No, Monday. Gosh, sorry, work has been killing me. Anyway, they took a nasty dump. What?
Is that a manual car or is that a brake?
That was a manual car, and that was me doing my parking brake. Anyway, so I wound up buying another 265 shares yesterday. I think I emailed their investor relations. I haven't heard anything back from them, and I haven't seen any news as to why it would have fallen. So my theory is that someone's doing a lot of tax loss harvesting because it has gone down quite a bit, and so I think come January, people might get back into the position.
Throw the Doge if you love or hate taxes.
Why would anybody in their right mind like taxes?
I said love or hate, so it's a mutual thing.
Because they love the infrastructure taxes create, like the FBI and the highways and all that.
The IRS. I love paying into a government ran Ponzi scheme.
So, friendly suggestion for all of you. Remember, if you don't ever want to pay for an accountant because it's too expensive, just don't do your taxes, and then the IRS will come in and tell you what you owe. It's a great life hack, and the IRS hates this one simple trick.
Wow. I believe negligence is not an excuse for not doing taxes. I will say that legally, for the record here, just for WallStreetBets legal team. I'm not a lawyer or a legal advisor, so please check in with your local CFA, CPA, if they are accounted, and make sure they are accredited, because you never want that CPA guy who didn't renew his license. Just saying.
Do not wait for the IRS to do your taxes. Bad
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah.
Please do not do that. If you owe money, you'll get screwed.
If you were actually going to take that advice that I gave, then you belong here and you should buy all the ape shares you can right now. Go for it.
I will say that if you don't pay your taxes, they will put you on a payment plan. So kind of a catch-22 there.
Or garnish your wages. Or send a letter to your employer, which will embarrass the fuck out of you. Do not do what that guy said.
Well, that sounds like you have some personal experience there, and we'll have story time after the market open.
That I say, good luck with that because I don't have a job for them to garnish wages.
I feel like you're like 2 months away from Skid Row, dude. If you don't go get a job ASAP. No, sure.
I'm
All right,
fine,
what does
dude. I have
that
a
guy have?
plan. I'm good till the end of February.
Matt sitting here with no job and nothing but meme stocks and weed shares. My man is
And
living the best
memes
life.
and weed.
Speaking of plays, Walmart looks pretty promising, guys. They just sent me an email and said, guess what? We're going to deliver till December 24th. That sounds like really breaking their backs. So Walmart
No, they're
called.
going to be breaking FedEx back.
Wait, so is Walmart saying that if I ordered a Christmas gift today, they'll get it in by the 24th? Because I don't think Amazon
No,
still.
yesterday was the deadline for that.
Okay.
I got the notification myself.
So I was going to say, I don't think Amazon still is delivering by Christmas anymore.
So I just got this email literally at midnight my time. So yeah, it's 23:10. Let me just double check. Oh yeah. So no, excuse me. I apologize. That would be 11:23, not 12. It says we'll deliver gifts through 12:24, and I'll make this very quick because market's open. I don't want to hear myself talk the whole time. Last minute, but right on time. Get amazing gifts delivered through Christmas Eve. That's right. I'm sure there's a big stipulation right here. Deliver as fast as 1 hour. Order by 4 p.m. on December 24th. Curbside pickup and delivery from store. Asterisk. Time slots available through December 24th. So big disclaimer, right? And you have to choose express delivery at checkout. Delivery fees and restrictions apply. $35 minimum.
Yeah, so if you live within 9 miles of a Walmart, you can order it and get it to your house Christmas Eve if it's in stock at your local Walmart.
Very good points.
Which, trust me, we're out of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I could say Target is out of a lot of stuff as well.
I have Carnival calls. They're expiring January 6th. They're doing a little bouncing around, but their reporting wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was kind of like a soft landing, if you will. They're trading at about, I want to say 835, 836 right now. I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna hope that it goes up to around $9 by the end of next week.
Just caveat on your guys' tax talk. They only can go back 7 years. So do with that information as you want. And that's from speaking straight to an IRS agent with no relation.
Yeah, I pulled through not paying taxes from years past.
I think we give enough suggestions that can bankrupt people in this sub without adding into tax-related suggestions. So, yeah, just my thought.
I'm looking at leaps on McDonald's. I saw a tweet where they have a fully automated McDonald's that they set up in Texas where there's no people in it at all. There's no employees. You place your order and through a production line, they deliver your order through a drive-through. Could be huge if they replicate that across their franchises and stuff, because that would reduce a lot of the labor costs for McDonald's.
Yeah,
So,
but who's going to be there to tell all the homeless people to go home? Oh, wait.
And who's going to be there to tell me that the ice cream machine's broken?
I don't know.
Wait, you're
But,
saying that the whole process is completely automated, even the assembly line?
That's correct.
Yeah, let's be honest, it's not that difficult.
They're calling it a fully automated McDonald's, and it's like there might be one person or whatever in there, but either way, it seems like it could go a long way to reducing labor costs for fast food places, and maybe even increasing the level of service
We got breaking news from YF Low. YF Low, come on in here and tell us that breaking news. Go ahead.
Oh, it's just Google has Google has bought the rights for NFL Sunday Ticket for $2 billion a year. Well, YouTube, but technically
Didn't we
Google.
talk about that like an hour ago?
Yeah, he had the price point. That's why I added it on there. Sorry.
Yeah, $2 billion a year. So that's basically where you want to kind of play your. I mean, yeah. So that's that. $2 billion. I think that's a little steep, but I don't know.
But Google's got the money and the NFL needs it. So
What do you guys think about Spike? There are a lot of people saying waiting for a Santa rally. You
Nah.
think
I just wanted to say, buy puts to the moon.
Yeah, 382.
Buy puts to the fucking moon.
What?
Oh, speaking of index funds, if you guys are looking into QQQ, Raytheon, generally they go in tandem because Raytheon likes to go up when QQQ goes up. Right now, there's a divergence of Raytheon and QQQ, so if you want to hedge bets that Raytheon is going to go more into Ukraine, then buy some calls, especially for the $100 strike price for this week. AKA Santa's going to send missiles to Ukraine.
By the way,
I had
guys,
a,
just wanted to say, honestly, given the data we've got from today, I say the bubble is kind of fucked at the moment because logically, most of the companies in the S&P are trying to.
John Wick, do you mind holding that comment just for 2 seconds? I do apologize. Guys, we got a minute and 17 seconds left for the market open. You guys want to spit some plays real quick?
Spy puts, I don't give a fuck.
Spy puts? Spy calls, go on.
Puts.
Yeah, I'm looking at buy puts 0 days to. I think you'll get a.
Buying puts or selling them?
I'm buying puts, the 382 puts 0 for today expiration, and my guess is that they'll open at maybe like 80, 90 cents, maybe a little bit more than that. But look to make a quick buck on those.
I think more attention's toward PCE, even though GTP was up. I think there'll be some optimism today. I don't think we go down below 382, but good luck with that, guys. I hope it works well for you. I'm going to be watching the trends, and I'll play a couple of the trends today. Using some tools and see what happens.
If we're putting puts on the spider, how are we feeling about emerging markets?
Yeah, I just opened inverse iron pondo, so like a long position. Either way, if it goes up or down, I still make a profit.
Well, I'm going to enter energy transfer $12 strike for the weekly. Probably going to use either Weibo or Robinhood to do it because they're not charging you money for those penny lotteries.
I entered those for next month.
That's market open.
Good luck, boys and girls.
Market open. Good luck.
Oh, quick question. Where do you guys think that Ape is going to end up in the next 5 minutes?
To the
Yo,
moon.
I was just gonna say that. I had a quick point on it. I don't know what it means, but they can only purchase 5% of the shares or convert them because of that Hart antitrust law or whatever. So they can convert the rest in 30 days. But I don't know if that means that the price might.
Boys, just want to say Tesla puts are going to the moon. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's funny. I just saw the news for Ape. I was thinking about the possibility of reverse split, but I guess well, here we are.
I'm less interested in where Ape goes up to. I'm more intrigued at how much AMC is going to be pulled down because I always expected it was going to hit AMC harder than it was going to help Ape.
Think we'll see Ape up to $1.50 and AMC down to like 3.
I think they're going to end up pretty close. I wouldn't be shocked if it's like $2 versus $2.50 or something like that. But what the hell do I know?
No, this seems like a safe bet for early trading, especially, and then as the news catches up, and then it will probably,
Wait, are they voting to convert them 1-to-1?
That is
It's
correct.
a 1-to-1 conversion with equal voting power.
So basically what that means then is that there's like something like a 50+% chance that the market is pricing in that they're not going to pass this conversion vote because it's otherwise be trading much higher than $1.20.
We'll see what the, or we'll see.
Tesla is
By the
at
way, guys,
135.
yeah, we've talked about emerging markets earlier. Just want to say, given the COVID numbers in China, I've got to be honest, it kind of looks bearish to me.
Hey, whoever had that McDonald's leap, when is your leap expiring?
Looks like they left already.
No, January 25.
Yeah, I guess it should be like 1 or 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably what will happen is they'll test it out and see what's going on, how it's working, and then decide if they want to roll it out further. But interesting possibility, and it gets rid of a lot of the labor related issues for that industry.
Well, Obesity Factory is now going automation.
Those 382 puts opened them at 90, sold them at $1.25. Easy money.
Yeah, still got the puts open yesterday for SPY, assuming it will go down based on the jobless claims. I'm about to sell it. It's currently like a 4-bagger right now. But for tomorrow, depending on what it does today, I may purchase some additional calls that expire tomorrow for SPY. I'm just assuming the PCE index is going to be good, just kind of based on what the CPI was last month. The jobless claim numbers have sucked. Well, I mean, it's good for people working, but I guess for what the market wants to see, and I don't think any of the estimates have been good on those jobless claims.
Capital One is diving down 2.45%.
SPY did go under 382, so good job there, guys, on that call.
Yeah. It's
Puts to the moon, boys. Puts to the moon.
Down bad this morning.
Yeah, I sold out of those puts. So I mean, as soon as it touched 382, you might see a bounce off that.
I just
that number,
noticed a
so.
possible uptrend. So, but I'm going to watch it closely. Yeah, I think that it will bounce around. I think there was it was a loss from 387, pretty much at close yesterday, to 382 now, off of jobless claims. So let's see what it does today. I'll keep you guys up to date if I see anything.
By the way, boys, regarding long-term SPY puts, just wanted to say it might make sense given that basically J-Power has got the green light for another interest rate hike. So probably refinancing for most debt-ridden companies will be getting even more expensive, and looking at sort of stagnant demand, I'd say it might make sense that first quarter's earnings reports will be bullshit too. So honestly, I actually go for a long term, at least till the first quarter SPY put.
Hey, helicopter. There's some news for Madrigal Pharmaceuticals. It gets a $259 million in equity plus a $50 million in commitments for the new drug. So it looks like our putas are putas.
What do you mean $50 million equity?
No, $259 million in equity. That seems like an injection of cash.
Yeah, they have loans they can take. They have no revenue whatsoever. So
right. Well, I'm just saying, like they're going to stay liquid a little longer just to kind of kick that out of money play out of the way.
yeah, it's just the investment thought. Those people that threw money into it hoping it would go to 2,000, it's not going to 2,000. It will hang around this number, maybe 300, possibly 325. But I'm playing the long term by July under 160 because this will not remain a highly up their stock even after FDA approval, which takes months, if not a year.
I'm doing the same thing with you, helicopter.
I'm actually looking at like the 65 strikes for July right now.
I'm saying 160 because they were pretty cheap, but not cheap. They were to me, it's a bagger. But if you get down to 60, great. The market was pricing $100 a share for this company when the news was going to hit for the stage 3. So I honestly think that is the curve. That's why I went 160 because if it bucks, if it's 100, that's a 10 bagger, and I love those.
Oh man, this is gonna be hilarious, especially when they say they're gonna start doing stock offering to sell shares to make money.
Yeah, they still have about 150 million in loans. That would be a round cycles that they can take. But when you're bringing in zero income, you don't have your drug ready to sell yet, and you're going off the hopium. That's not a good investment. And people that threw their money into it when it starts to fall will run. It's nothing new. It's happened to everybody, including Cassava Drug, SAVA. They still haven't been bought out. They had an Alzheimer's drug approved. They still haven't been bought out. Still can't turn a profit. And that $125 stock that people run it up to is still around 40, 50 at the most at times. So, yeah, it was just the hopium that they get bought out quick, and everybody's trying to make the quick dime. After the first run up, these usually run up for a few more days after. And then that's when people start to realize, why is my money sitting here?
I got an XPX play. So 2 days ago, I put in a SPX straddle shorting. That was a 73K position. It was at 38.50. Strike was 38.50. Up 2K on those so far. But yesterday, I believe SPX came out with the 2027 leap options. So I'm thinking of doing another straddle for those long-term leaps at the money. Just one contract each.
I'm now showing a confirmed reversal on SPY, uptrend. I'll advise you when I see that it will reverse back downward again. But even though it just fell off a little bit, still confirmed uptrend.
Right. But still, for me, these are non-directional bets. For me, so the reversal, and since these, I mean, break evens are huge. Talking like 200 break even and 2300 break even to lose any money to go past those break evens. So whether it's reversal or not,
SPY just went back down. It reversed down and is going down.
That's cool. That's cool, man.
I'm going off the order flow. So just
No, that's right. I'm not disagreeing with you.
For those people that want to play zero DTEs and make a quick profit, that was.
Oh, well, there's that.
By the way, guys, what's your opinion on long-term SPY puts, at least until first quarter, maybe second quarter?
That's all I've got is leaps puts on SPY. I'm just very bearish about next year.
Likewise.
I've got a 275 SPY put lottery ticket for June 2023.
A 275?
275 strike, yes.
I've got some 300s out in September and December, but damn, June, that's ballsy.
Man, that's like 2020, March 2020 kind of numbers over there, buddy.
Talking about SPY?
Yeah.
Wild, man. That's wild.
I don't think you guys understand how things are grinding to a halt. Like, first quarter, I think is going to be just ugly.
Yeah.
You might be right, but you're literally betting on like COVID levels almost.
Even beyond that, I think like if the rumors are true that Russia's going to be doing a larger invasion of Ukraine again, shit is going to hit the fan. Those 300,000 troops that they conscripted, if they're doing another offensive into Ukraine in the first quarter, shit is going to hit the fan.
Yeah, likewise. What I think about that situation is there's that power plant in like Nova Kakhovka or whatever it is. The Kremlin said that Ukraine is going to attack it and then blame it on Russia. So that's like Russia saying, "Hey, we're going to do it," and say that the Ukrainians did it, but they're blaming it on us. And when that radioactive fallout, goes all down southern Ukraine, that's going to be like almost world-ending, like COVID crash.
You think Russia's going to let radioactive fallout that could easily, with the change of a wind, blow into Russia loose just so they can blame it on Ukraine?
Except the wind generally goes westward.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter who does it or what gets done. Like, it doesn't really matter who does it. If that happens, it's nuts. It's crazy.
What you have to remember about Putin is that he has two different kinds of cancer right now, and he's very concerned about his legacy. He wants to be remembered as a great Russian conqueror, like Peter the Great. He's fucking crazy, and he will do what I'm saying he'll do.
I mean, he
By the way,
did.
guys,
He did annex Crimea.
Don't forget, guys, also the energy crisis is probably one of the driving factors of today's inflation. So what Genome says makes sense, because if truly Putin tries to invade Ukraine one more time, or at least attack it one more time, we'll probably have an increased price in nat gas. I don't know about oil, but I'm sure about nat gas. And given that, I suppose bearish outlook on SPY might make sense, because if the inflation keeps on pumping up, JPO is just going to fuck up the SPY. It's going to just fuck up SPY with more rates.
I don't think Russia doing another massive offensive into Ukraine would affect gas prices, because right now they've basically been, embargoed by most of the world over. So any change to gas is basically there. And
They're not being embargoed by the two largest countries in the world, which is China and India. Right?
Yes.
It's not most of the countries in the world. That's Western media propaganda. There's a lot of countries in the world that, like, Russia's supplying most of the wheat and stuff to Africa. So obviously those African countries aren't really embargoing any Russian good. It's not most of the world. It's the EU and the US.
I don't think any of the African countries really need Russian gas, because they have plenty of their own. A lot of them have the resources. Maybe they have Russian companies extracting it for them. But like I said, most of the major gas markets, China and India are obviously two major exceptions to that, are pulling away from Russia. And Qatar is picking up a lot of that bill, because they have the largest, natural gas field off of their coast. And then you also have a lot of increase of U.S. investment in natural gas near to LNG. The one I'm invested in there yet, but they're currently constructing one that is Telegram EL. So there's a lot of other companies there. I don't think.
Sorry, it's so hard to hear you.
He's speaking through the blockchain.
Speaking through the blockchain.
Speaking through
one word
Web3.
every 10 seconds.
It sounds like it might be Reddit.
Oil might be a good play right now, if anybody's into natural gas. The Boyle ETF.
Yep.
Also, guys, don't forget the V futures just shot up during the invasion of Ukraine. So I'm just saying, it's not only nat gas that might increase in price; it's also probably the wheat futures. So just saying, logically, those two futures, or those two resources, rather, one of the driving factors when it comes to on one hand, the energy crisis, and the other for the inflation. Therefore, I'd say just keep in mind, if it actually happens, I can see inflation pumping up even more, and probably another rate hike, which obviously will dampen the economy. Just saying.
I think the inflation in Europe might get worse, but our costs aren't really that affected by what's going on in Europe. I think that's a misconception. I mean, our inflation is driven by gas prices, housing prices, used cars. That is the majority of our inflation. Like, I don't know what it is, like 62% of our inflation is driven by like 4 different factors or something.
So you're saying that Russia does this again to Ukraine, so it calls on Lockheed Martin?
Yes. Lockheed
That's
Martin,
always a good
Northrop Grumman, who's the other one? Raytheon.
If you truly believe there's going to be some major war escalation, then where you should actually really be is in gold, because as much as I hate gold and I hate having to bring this up all the time, just check the chart. If that war started, what did gold do? Shot through the roof because everyone thought we were all going to die. Check 9/11. What happened? Everyone thought we were going to die. Gold shot through the roof. It's stupid, but when people think we're all going to die, gold just shoots through the roof.
Yeah, this is.
But isn't gold isn't paper gold manipulated?
Yes.
Well, silver is more manipulated than gold. I actually got a point for human genome because actually, that 250 put may not be too far fetched if XLE tanks, because right now the SPY is already propped up by the energy sector. If it's not, we probably are at like below 350 at the moment.
By the way, I'm looking at the wheat imports for the yes at the moment, and I can see that about 81% coming from Canada. And just saying, if the market really reacts to another possible invasion to Ukraine, it just might increase some sort of at least some costs in the food industry. Just saying. So as I said, just keep a look for invasion, given that we might have an increase in inflation one at a time. I mean, just driving costs up.
Hey, Human, how far were you looking at those puts for next year?
I got them for June 16th. I believe it's 6. I have them for June 16th. Hang on, let me check. Yeah.
While he's checking, I was just gonna say, put on my tinfoil hat. Like, it's actually not, I was gonna disagree with the guy, but it's actually not that crazy for a nuclear power plant to be hit. I guess they have scram systems that shut them down when missiles are detected, but they hardly have enough diesel, according to an interview I read in November, to even restart the power plants. So, then the scram system. I don't know. It's this whole thing, but it's actually not that crazy. And then, like the other guy said, the direct impact of that would be like sunflower oil and other things in the food industry would shoot up, or more supply chain issues.
June 16th is what I have.
Just wait a second. With the whole nuclear power plant thing, there is not a conventional weapon on the planet that could cause the kind of damage to a nuclear power plant that the Chernobyl disaster did. And that was for like all of Europe outside of the direct exclusion zone in the Ukraine. That was really just a minor inconvenience. Spread a lot of fear, but it actually didn't cause a lot of damage. So I wouldn't get too excited about that bit. Also, Putin is just one guy. I mean, it's really, Russia is ruled by the oligarchy. You've got to try and see it out of the, what the incentives of the oligarchy are, and not so much his personal ones, right? And so the question is if it's really in their interest to burn the planet down, which I personally don't think. Just my 2 cents.
I've seen the Chernobyl show, which is based on true story, whatever the fuck, right? And so
yeah, I know it's extremely
HBO.
Right, yeah, that shit was
It's pretty good.
I don't doubt at all that's exactly how that went down, right? And one of the things that stands out the most to me is when I think it was Chechnov, whatever his name was, he said, "No, we can't have a nuclear catastrophe in Russia," or something like that. Russia doesn't have nuclear catastrophes. Like, that's the level of shit that they're doing, man. You'll never know what the fuck they're gonna do.
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't think I
don't know
understand
about
the point.
the nuclear. I don't know about the nuclear part, but I know that they didn't conscript 300,000 soldiers for nothing, because they're expensive to feed, they're expensive to house, they're expensive to conscript, basically, and they don't have a lot of money. So that's what I'm taking off the ground.
They're
what does
paying
this
them in
mean-
oil futures.
What does this mean for my Dole calls?
If you just take out Ukraine with a missile hit on a power plant, you wouldn't need 300,000 conscripts. I mean, that screams conventional invasion.
So the question is, theoretically speaking, let's say Russia does get Ukraine. What's next after that?
Nothing. They have no military capability to do anything else at this point.
Nothing. The resources in Ukraine are worth like something like $16 trillion or something like that, or 20 trillion. The metals and lithium and stuff deposits that Ukraine has. That's what they're after.
So what does it mean for my stocks? The stock.
Yep.
You definitely see a flash crash if something like that happened, but long term, I don't think it's a big deal.
I completely agree with you, Terminal. And like I said, I don't have any authority on the subject, but just to play devil's advocate, it would cause so much fear if they did strike a nuclear power plant. Nobody would feel safe. And I think maybe that could be a goal. But again, just my tinfoil. I don't think.
I'm sorry, guys. No one's intentionally striking nuclear power plants. It's not like, I get that that's the scary thing on TV and that the news tells you it, and I get why it's a fear. I get it. It is a fear, but like, no, that's not what's going to happen. It's not. It's not an easy thing to do, right? Like, they're designed to take bombings. Literally, the reactors have a shell encasing that can take a full 757 direct hit. And not like in theory, this has been tested, but then even past that, like, intentional sabotage is not something someone's going to do. And these are things like, if, like, yes, you're scared about it. The entire world and the reactor designers are aware of this too. And they've taken these things into account. Just keep in mind, it's not so easy.
You see these scare stories. You see these scare stories about power plants getting shelled. Those shells, I mean, at most they scratch the concrete casing on the outside.
Here's the
nothing. Right?
Here's the play. If you think at all that something's going to happen in a nuclear capacity that is not a nuclear attack in Ukraine, then you should just go ahead and assume that nuclear energy in general will die. Because if the world sees another Chernobyl based on the way that we feel about nuclear energy today, we're probably not going to continue to do that shit afterwards.
I mean, yeah, that's a fact, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, you can say goodbye to any nuclear stocks.
There's your play.
We've been working pretty hard on killing it so far. So, I mean, it's
all right. So say
could get
no.
worse, but not much worse.
Say no to bombing nuclear shelters and nuclear stocks. Got it. And since I'm so glad you guys asked, GameStop is now below $20, and it looks like AMC is actually recovering quite well. They're only down 12% now.
It was
Right,
earlier at
Tesla is going
420, and I took a
sideways after the
screenshot.
initial dump. Just saying.
Well, I mean, it's still reaching. This is like more than 2-year lows at this point, right? Like how far back on the chart do we have to go? Yeah, like the post-COVID explosion in value of Tesla is where the current price is at now.
Yeah.
30. So wait, back a while ago, we were talking about how like
Were we
Elon
not?
has margin calls at like 120, 140, or 130 or something like that, because that's where we are right now.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
pre-COVID.
but he
we
can
were
add
going
capital
into
to
a
that, can he?
Well, yeah, but from where?
Pre-COVID, we were going into a recession already. So
SpaceX, he was
sell your
selling
shit.
at $74 a share. Twitter, he's selling more at $54 a share. So he's probably offering up that as equity for his loan.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's not a complete idiot. He's not going to get liquidated. He's got enough assets that he can put back in. Like, come on, like a liquidation of that will, I would bet significant amount of money that will not happen.
So even if
he has friends.
Sorry, even if he does get liquidated, like, I mean, his creditors aren't just gonna dump all those shares on the market. I mean, they're not fucking stupid, right?
Okay, you remember Archego?
Oh yeah. During the Archegos thing, it's like you sell your shares in a block to somebody, and then they handle the liquidation process, and they give you a big discount to what the current price is, and then they handle actually dumping them.
I'm personally just waiting for Tesla's going out of business sale.
He could also keep selling shares of Twitter privately, and I bet you there's a lot of people out there that'll spend a lot of money for him.
So speaking of Twitter, the interesting thing is they've added a new feature to Twitter where if you put in a $ ticker symbol in the search bar, it'll bring up all kinds of financial information as well as a link to Robinhood to give you the financial info on stock.
I'll be completely honest with you. I don't know if everybody feels this way, but I'm a technologist, right? Like I've been here for 2 decades. I would not touch Twitter with a 25 stick or 25-foot pole. Like, no, I don't want to be on that application at all. They don't even know what the fuck they're doing.
Hey
Otherwise,
guys, you know what I
it
just
looks like
noticed about?
Tesla is reversed.
I just noticed about my own finance. I've been trying to penny and dime options whilst not making a single change to my 401k elections. I've been largely invested in large caps. I should have changed that all to bonds.
What? What? Hopefully
Well-
not a year ago.
Well, now, with such a grim outlook, it might make sense to just fully stay in bonds on your 401k. That gets you 1%.
If the
instead
economy
of
collapses, if the U.S. economy collapses, bonds will not be safe.
Correct.
Because the faith in
Neither
the
are the
dollar
stocks.
will.
Isn't it Hardy that tells us to play the volatility?
Hey, anybody know how these financial analysts work? Because Aerojet Rocketdyne Holdings has been raised the price target to $58. There's an offer to buy them at 57.5. I don't know what kind of a thing they're smoking, but this is just doesn't make any
They
sense.
just analyze financials, bro. That's it. That's how they work.
So Aerojet Rocketdyne was being kind of courted by Lockheed Martin for their rocket technology because they have some unique, let's just say whatever,
Yeah,
products.
javelin.
Exactly, right? And so that was kiboshed by the state because they said it would create too much of a monopoly. And so now there's a new player, essentially L3, coming in and trying to buy them out at a higher price. So that's what that has to do with. That's pretty much it.
Right. I picked up some $57 calls actually for 2023. They're up 300%. It's very illiquid.
Keep in mind, even if they're sold for $57, you lose money on that because you're
Oh yeah,
buying
I know.
time value.
It
So
was
you got,
it was $5 a contract.
that's fine, but if they get sold and it's like defined at your basically your time value goes to zero and you'll lose everything. You'll lose them. Like, they'll expire worthless.
Right. I know.
I'm waiting for a good entry on Boyle right now.
On Boyle? I really do love these ETF names. I think Gush is my favorite though.
Can we get some elevator music?
Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you for the recommendation. There we go.
SPY has been defending mightily, but cannot get any legs to the upside. It's very interesting.
You know it's not defending. GME.
Listen,
Looks
I have
like-
my GME shares that I'll hold until eternity. That's all. I put my, I don't know what you would call it in there. I made my money on GME and I put 10% back and said I'll hold until eternity.
All right, fair enough. Some people like to just donate back to the market. That's cool.
That's essentially exactly. I paid my thank yous.
Apple has some pretty strong support level at around 132 to 133. If you guys want to play the reverse.
By the way, just saying, regarding the subject of Russia trying to invade Ukraine one more time, I've looked at Russia's market capitalization regarding of their dominance in the gas markets, and it's kind of funny because it looks like Russia is about 17% of the global gas market. So I think it makes sense trying to somewhat at least expand their fields towards agriculture and abuse those sources of gas that Ukraine has. So just saying.
I think it's the docks, personally. I think I don't know. It's been a while since I've looked at it, but if you look at Russia, all of their docks, they give them access to the ocean in general, are frozen during the winter. Like it's all very cold in those dock areas or whatever. And so I think they're trying, personally, I think they're trying to get into that dock work around Crimea and the southern side of Ukraine. They want that access.
Russia has desired a warm water port
Yeah.
since like Russia came into existence. Yeah, the
Yeah.
entire Ukraine thing and Crimea specifically is to get access to warm water ports in the Mediterranean.
Yeah,
It's 100% what Joaquin said.
What I don't understand though is their annexation of Crimea gave them that, right? I'm pretty sure they got docks in Crimea.
Yeah, Sevastopol.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe one or two is not enough. I don't fucking know.
No, I'd say the docks in Crimea are sufficient. As I said earlier, I suppose I mean logically, Ukraine is probably one of the big, or at least fundamental source, for example, for agriculture in Europe. Therefore, I suppose makes sense for Russia to at least try to expand the fields until they have major sources of Ukraine's wheat sources. And I mean, if you think about it, Russia is just an overly big gas source for the global market. So and someday those sources will run out. Expanding their fields to agriculture, which in of itself is renewable, makes sense at least to me because Ukraine is one of the most, the biggest exporter of wheat in Europe.
The part that I struggle with here is that, don't get me wrong, these are all great theories. I just struggle with the idea that Putin is thinking that far into the future. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's just a lot smarter than I think he is, but I don't know. I just don't see it from a crazy one.
So to speak of a play related to this, nat gas. I feel like the nat gas market has not priced in the possibility of another round. The war going all of next year and into next winter. I think the nat gas market pretty much just thinks maybe this is the last winter that Europe's going to have to deal with an embargo of Russian fossil fuels. But I could be wrong.
You also have to remember that, and I'm not defending Putin or saying he's one thing or another, but it's more likely than not.
Sorry, try again.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. He's probably not as crazy as he's made out to be here in the West. You know what I mean? It's in our best interest to paint him as like crazy or insane or incapable. I don't know that he's not, but we have to consider that we might not actually have the real picture. So we can't assume that, you know?
Personally, I think that this war goes on not because of Ukraine at all. I think it goes on because Russia's getting their ass kicked by the United States right now. And I think that they've got some ground to recover before they'll walk away from it. They need to prove that they're scary.
By the way, what Jay said, I do think Putin might have a long-term plan because obviously taking such a big risk, fighting against the world, basically, there has to be some sort of long-term goal. And as I said, if you think about it, Russia's main source of income, the fundamental trade that Russia is in at the moment is just resources, and it does make sense to expand at least on that sort of say economy regarding I don't know, resource futures, for example. I mean, it makes sense because attacking Ukraine, of course, has, well, affected the wheat future, for example, because logically, lowering supply with a constant demand will drive up the prices. So it does make sense, at least from that perspective, trying to expand the sources of income because they can't live off gas. They can't live off gas forever.
Yeah.
Well, one thing is absolutely clear, and that is that whatever's happening now was absolutely not Putin's long-term plan. Whether he's a genius or whether he's crazy or whatever, this is not what he planned to do when he first invaded in February. What they were planning to do was the liberation of Kuwait, essentially, just blitz in and rout the Ukrainian army and take it over.
Definitely.
And that failed, right?
I think he underestimated the resistance of the Ukrainian army.
So the question is, will the Russians be able to adapt or not? I think that's the question. And so far, it hasn't looked too good, but maybe over the winter, things can change.
I will say, Ukraine has been amazing. I'm very impressed with these people. But I think, and no joke, seriously, I'm not joking. I think this really shows the power of how much people don't want to lose their modern bullshit. Because Ukraine was very much like the United States when it got invaded. Like, everybody's on Snapchat and TikTok and all the things, right? And now we're seeing the underdog fight back stronger than we've ever really seen. Like, it should not have happened. Ukraine should have been a lot worse.
It's not the underdog. Let's face it. I mean, they're not without U.S. weapons and stuff like that. This would be over a long time ago.
I agree. I just think the resolve.
It's not Ukraine that's fighting.
The soldiers are. The point that I was saying is that the soldiers on the ground, I think the resolve that they're finding is their drive to not lose their modern world. I don't think it's like, I don't want to die, I don't want my kids to die. It's like, I want to go back to my, graphic design job. That kind of shit.
Gotta be honest, I think both of you are right, because logically, on the one hand, you need an army, a functioning army to defend your country. On the other hand, you have to have some sort of logistical support. And, looking at Ukraine's logistics, they're getting fucked from left to right. They're getting bombs all day. So it does make sense to say, one part of it is the US help and also, Europe's help, especially Germany's help, trying to liberate, or not liberate, but at least trying to support Ukraine from a logistical perspective. But what G said, it's true. I mean, you need some sort of army, at least, with sufficient morale in order to defend your lands. So I say both of those factors are coming into play.
That's fair. My point is that I really don't understand how that morale hasn't been destroyed by now. It's just incredibly impressive to me.
Well, we don't see everything that's going on. It's the fog of war, and the other part of it is like, so far this conflict has cost the global economy $30 trillion, and it's like, how many times would you have to blow up Ukraine and rebuild it to make up for that? I mean, is this whole thing really worth it? I mean, this doesn't make any sense anymore, not from any standpoint.
What do you mean? Worth it from our standpoint?
Yeah, it's a proxy war, just like we've seen in the past. Western values versus Eastern values. That's the bigger picture. I'm kind of wondering how long we impose sanctions on Russia, if they ever repair relations with the West.
I think the thought here should be more like, I think the only next step that we can take is oil with Russia, right? Like, it's really the only thing that we haven't fucked with that much, and Russia's fucking with it more than everybody else. But I think, in terms of this thing escalating and what's America's next step and Europe's next step and everything else, it has to be cutting them out of the financial market completely and cutting them out of oil. I don't see anything else. What else can we do at this point besides just fucking attack them?
Well, you can. The other option is, like, I think Ukraine missed a huge opportunity by staying neutral and working both sides, right? That would have been the best move for them to do, instead of the stupidity that they're trying to do now. Is they're like on the border between BRICS and the West, and Ukraine would have been perfectly positioned to work with both sides and conduct business back and forth instead of choosing one side or the other. It would have been a lot more advantageous from a business standpoint as well as from a global progress standpoint. But they're choosing a stupid option. The next step should be for the discussion of ending the conflict without military tools, using diplomatic tools to end the conflict instead of military tools, and getting back into trade and business. The other part of this all is that the whole concept of a nation is no longer, to me, relevant, right? I mean, to me, companies like Google, Apple, all the companies that pulled out of Russia have demonstrated that the capabilities that they have to sort of write somebody out of history is unmatched by any nation. And the way that things are manned, like you need to, there's a new power in town when you're talking about a global world where you're connected with the internet, and the whole concept of a nation is just ridiculous. It's not suitable for managing the earth on a going forward basis to have these kind of conflicts.
I agree.
So SPY has gone below 380, and it's still dipping pretty hard.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah, it looks like it rejected WAP, and it might go all the way down to 377 before it tries there, but keeping a watch on it. Been in the downtrend since 381.80.
What do you guys think about the long-term prospects for AMC repurposing some of their assets? I had a conversation about this yesterday with some people, and there's a lady on one of the calls. I forget her name off the top of my head now. She said that she was able to rent out an AMC theater for a birthday party for her, or a party for her daughter. And I never knew you could do that with. I never knew you could do that with AMC, or that you could rent out like a theater for yourself. And it wasn't that expensive either, but like they're not advertising that. At least I haven't seen any advertisements from AMC that you can even do that. Like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about? Go ahead.
The renting, if I recall correctly, because I think that one of the theaters near my house was offering this. It was, if maybe she did something recently that I don't understand, but I remember the theater near my house offering the ability to come and rent the entire theater for a birthday party in the middle of COVID, because literally nobody was going to that theater. And I remember talking to friends about that, because I was like, no, I haven't seen cars in that parking lot in like 2 months. The theater can't be open. Like, how are they even operating? And then like a month later, it was like, you guys can rent the whole theater. So it's like, I think that was an effort to try to keep those businesses.
But I mean, it just seems like from an asset standpoint, I mean, they have real, like, those theaters are amazing assets. You know, like you could like turn them into virtual gaming rooms where you have different rooms that you can do like VR type gaming or VR type events. You can do like rent them out for parties. I mean, if they got serious about doing that more beyond just what they did during COVID, would that be an opportunity for them to repurpose some of those assets, since people are not that much interested in necessarily watching movies in theaters anymore, just repurposing the assets for something else? And what would that something else look like?
You mean like a Dave and Buster's?
Yeah, only you're doing like VR type stuff.
How much profit is in that?
I don't know.
I mean, there's a small town next door to me that's kind of becoming popular, and so it's kind of, there's all kinds of young people that are there now, and it's weird because it's just kind of like podunk town, but they have a theater in the middle of that town. It's a Princess Theater. It's not like an AMC or anything like that. It's this old ass theater. And out of everything in that town, they got like an arcade and a nice little pizza place and a cool little alley you could walk down and hang out in on some tables. The most popular spot in the town all day long is the Princess Theater. And I think that that's the case just about everywhere you go. If I think about Gay Street in downtown Knoxville, it's the theater. That's the Tennessee or the Knoxville side or whatever there, right? It's the theater. It's always the theater. And I think that even if people don't want to go and watch something, somebody still wants to go and see a theater. And I think that's going to reach out into the future, right? At least for a little while. So it is repurposable. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with it, but I'd go.
I think the only concern about theaters, and I think that's a natural progression for them if they do want to stay in business, but they are completely at the mercy of movie studios, if I, am correct. So what happens if they start streaming is a way bigger source of revenue and they cut contracts with the theaters? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, speaking of AMC, it's whoever had that suggestion, whoever brought it up, they're down about 15%, which is more than I thought they'd be in pre-market. So, congratulations on that.
By the way, it could be spy reversing at the moment. It looks like it.
He's probably going to trade flat, to be honest. Volume looks crappy. Yeah, was it a true tweet when Kramer said Santa rally starts today, or was that somebody that made it up?
Inverse.
I will
It's a lot of
continue to
hopium.
be the sub Kramer defender. I will continue to defend poor Jimmy.
No, it's kind of, to be honest, it was kind of lucky because I've posted some, at least I'd say, fundamental DT my profile, and I was mocking bulls left and right for markets open. I was just thinking, please, God, please, please give me the needed data. And after this happened,
Well,
oh my God.
I don't know if this is foolish, but stock market crash is trending on Twitter, top trending right now. So, shit.
Everybody's
There it
doing.
is, boys. Pack it in. If Twitter's got it trending, we're done. Recession guaranteed, market crash. Just buy all your. Don't even buy puts. The dollar is going to be worthless. I'll be collecting bottle caps for my soda cans. I'm ready for the post-apocalyptic world.
This is what I'm trying to tell you guys about Twitter. Can you really trust what's trending anymore?
Yes.
Well,
the answer to that question is not yes or no. It's
Well, I mean, put it this way: can you really trust what's trending on any social media platform?
I trust everything Reddit says 100%.
The question is, can you trust yourself?
No,
I
you can't
trust
trust
4chan,
shit. You
buddy.
can't trust your grandma. You can't trust your mom. You can't trust shit, bro.
Trust myself. No, that guy's an idiot. But what I've found is that like the trending page on Twitter is actually like very personalized to you. So if you search for stuff that say that the stock market is crashing, that's what you'll get in your trending tab, I think.
Wait, so I'm like a cyborg when I interact with this Twitter app? It like
Yeah.
changes based on
Also-
my. Wow, that's crazy.
Also, keep in mind, I'm not gonna say it. Screw it. I'm gonna say it. Keep in mind, a lot of the Twitter heads are out there to sell you their newsletter, right? And if they tell you the stock market's great, everything's fine, don't worry about it, you're not gonna buy. But if they tell you we're all screwed, everyone's gonna die, but my newsletter has the one answer to make you the survivor, you're gonna be a lot more inclined to buy. So being panicky sells a lot more stuff. So keep that in mind that there are agendas out there.
Right on. Well said.
That's a really good point.
Yo, opinion. You know how they do reenactments of like World War I and World War II? WallStreetBets should do a reenactment of the 1920 market crash. and stream it on YouTube.
I think you mean the 30s.
Yeah, it was the 30s.
We should reenact the GME run, complete with Opinion wearing cat ears and doing daily YouTube videos about how it's undervalued.
Oh God! Oh God! I mean, look, we basically did the 1920s. Like in the past 10 years that Wall Street Bets has been running, like it's been nothing but a bull market, and it's been great. I mean, minus that little tiny period during 2020. So yeah, why not? Why not? Have a nice little market collapse. I'm gonna veto the cat ears on YouTube thing. So I don't want to do it, and I don't think you want to see it. Let's be honest.
You see, and it's that lack of extra mile. That is why you can't get that YouTube to just pop off to millions of followers.
Ooh.
Cat
All
ears
right.
would do it. It's like guaranteed.
By the way, guys, as a side note, has anyone here ever used equity warrants? Like OTC options, basically.
What about OTC options?
Just asking, has anyone ever used warrants, or basically OTC options?
Warrants.
Yeah, I did it for Matterport, but that's about it.
I have a question about that too. How do those work?
It's just like options. They just have a strike date. You just hang on to those. You have the right to buy the shares before at the time of expiry. But it's you holding it like a stock, so you have a significantly higher expiration date, and there's a lot of opportunity for arbitrage if you like to do the math.
Warrants are also usually more stuff that like actual like legitimate early investors look towards, right? That's their way to get that kind of value out of the stock.
Yep, Warren Buffett bought a bunch of warrants for Occidental Petroleum.
What are your thoughts on Matterport now, since you had interest in it early?
I mean, the company's the product is actually pretty good. Luce did say that the employee compensation using stocks is extremely unreasonable, which I do agree with him. But the way my bullish case is that if we're going to like anything close to like a housing market crisis, there's not going to be enough people to show houses, and there's going to be a huge influx of foreign investors wanting to just throw money into this country, and they're just going to use Matterport scans to do all this work.
Do you have any thesis with respect to commercial real estate, or you're focused mostly on the residential side?
Commercial was actually pretty decent. I actually looked at a Matterport scan of a newly constructed hospital. They're pretty accurate within like a couple inches, so it's decent. But for commercial, it's not that critical for the scans as much as it's just like its values and how much. There's a lot of things to talk about for commercial, but yeah, and you can use it for commercial too. But you're talking about volume. Basically, you want to sell volumes of software for these.
Right. Do you have a long position in the company right now?
Yeah, I have about. Let me check my portfolio. It's about 2,000 shares still, but I've been holding them since $8, so they're down pretty big.
Yeah, I'm in a similar position. A dollar cost average down, but yeah, I bought the SPAC when I heard they were going to convert, and saw it run up big and didn't sell. But I like the company long term, so yeah. Thanks for the fundamental analysis there.
Yeah, I actually sold most of my when they were running up above $20. Because that's the game of the SPACs. Basically, you sell into the news, and then you bought the dip, but you just kept on dipping, kind of thing. So.
Looks like Tesla puts free money at the moment.
Yeah, I paper handed my Tesla puts this week. It was like in the mid to high 140s. I'm like, oh my god, they're like over $1,000 a pop now.
Did you make money?
Yeah, I've been scalping on like red candles, and then going in on green candles and then selling on red candles. But if I diamond handed them, I probably would have made a lot more. But it's just not worth the risk. Tesla's too wild for me to play anything long term.
So you didn't paper-handed, you realized gains, and that's awesome. And you should be proud of yourself.
Take my hands.
Take your gains, gentlemen and ladies.
I've sold my ape shares already. They might go higher. I'm not sad about it because I made money. Money is money, man.
To be honest, once you make profit, it doesn't really matter. I mean, in hindsight, everyone's smarter, you know.
I'm picking some 165 ABBV calls. They're like $14, $15 a pop. I'm just banking on that last minute 0 DTE gamma. These farm like to play these games at the very end, so you can make some serious money on this. This is lottery ticket. Don't use that as like investment advice.
Oh damn! QQQ smashed through the resistance.
I actually am genuinely surprised that they're keeping this much of a gap between Ape and AMC right now with that news announced. I thought this would have got a lot closer.
So, where does that money come from in the reverse stock split if it's converted to AMC? And there's a $4.50 difference in the price right now. So would AMC naturally have to come down to whatever,
It will ultimately work. It will ultimately work. Think of it of what would happen to a stock if they just created a bunch of shares, right? And then open that to the market. It would dilute and it would go down. That's essentially what's happening, just in a more complex roundabout way.
Don't worry, it's SPS and
Sorry, what was that?
What's that?
Hey, Chewy, man, your mic is rough.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll take my phone case off. I'm sorry.
Did you buy the same knockoff AirPods as I did?
The AirPods.
Well,
Yeah.
looking at the RSI of Spike today, we're at 42.5, so there might be some prospects for, I don't know, short-term puts, just saying. So we're still in the green.
Is that better?
Oh, it's perfect.
Word. No, I was just gonna say. So I understand offering more stock options, etc., and then you dilute the price, based on the amount of options offered. But this one's going to be an influx of 500 million? Well, no, however many new shares. But there's already a price disparity. So wouldn't just like mathematically, AMC have to drop drastically to cover that?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah,
more
no,
than that.
Okay. I figured it out. And I need to ask you a question. So it looks like he put you down, but I think your phone's broken. It looks like you have suspenders in your picture. So as a Southern man, I assume you fish a lot. It sounds like you've dropped your phone
I think he
in
just
the water.
dropped the talk.
My thing, if you're still here, you're either a robot or you need a new phone.
He needs both. He's a robot and he needs a new phone.
QQQ is touching 265 now, which I think was the next resistance. Is anybody tracking QQQ?
I was in it, but I'm out. I'm actually trying to put some puts on a XLF.
Fucking hell. Honestly, it's Tesla puts at the moment. I mean, I've bought another put, well, shorted Tesla by CFDs, and I'm up 5% already. Again.
So everyone's on that Tesla puts are free money train until it's not free money.
Suppose so. Yeah.
Oh man, I read some some posts on Theta Gang. Some idiot was doing naked puts, selling naked puts on Tesla, and they're asking the people for advice.
Data Gang is my favorite sub because you can just see the transition from found Wall Street Bets, did a little bit of stocks, tried to make $1 billion by YOLOing, lost most of it, discovered Theta Gang, decided to go pennies in front of Steamroller, lost even more of it, now doesn't know what to do. It's just like that slow progression of the I learned about stocks. And Theta Gang is where they're like, oh, calls were dumb, I'm just gonna sell them. That will make me money.
It's sad, but it's true. They should come back to Wall Street Bets and then just buy calls again.
I like to think most of them wind up in like gold or silver, sitting in a bunker, like with physical bars of gold and a gun in one hand and a can of beans, and they're just like, they can't take it from me if I hold it.
This is where the people come from that tell us to buy like crates of corn and stuff.
So 0DTE QQQ puts are up 2,000%.
That's a nice story, but I'm going to have to interrupt and say GameStop just made a new 1-year low. Congratulations. All right, sorry, you were saying something about 2,000% gains?
Oh yeah, the 0DTE QQQ puts are up like 2,000%.
By the way, I just wanted to say I've just posted some small DD regarding my spy put strategy. So if you want to look into it, post the link in the comments.
People post DD? Whoa.
Oh, you're right. I should just do the calls on Tesla, 10% of the money.
I thought that,
Something's
I thought-
happening. Oil is crashing now. A lot of things are crashing. Is there any news that just hit the stratosphere?
Is it crashing or is just everything following SPY downward on low volume and nobody wants to play right now?
Yeah, pretty much low volume.
Yeah, probably.
Today would be a great day just to not trade and watch everybody smoke copium.
I just posted the DD in the comments, so you want to look into it. Sorry. By the way, I know it's kind of a taboo subject, but what does Wall Street Bets think of ETFs or other long-term investing, trying to follow the index, follow markets?
So none of us can speak for Wall Street Bets per se, but there are plenty of people here who are long on things. I think like half this chat at some point has Nintendo shares that they're just going to sit on for like 5 to 10 years, right? I'm long on the ton of stuff myself. I don't do a ton of options actually because I don't need to play games right now. So yeah, a lot of people here are long on stuff. We just talk about the stupid plays because that's what's funny.
Well, Tesla just fell off a cliff.
Making bank on it at the moment. A little bit, just I think 6%.
Yeah, probably Tesla's the reason why everything is crashing. They're overweighted in SPY and QQQ.
So I'm just gonna say it's not gonna happen. But if you actually look at Tesla from like a financial standpoint, it's like a $90 stock, and that's still giving it a 20 PE, which is pretty generous. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, PE is bullshit for growth stocks. I don't like the word PE. What does that even mean?
That's forward PE though, so that plays into growth.
Is 24 PE?
Yeah, at $90, it'd be about a 20 forward PE.
Mom and Kathy must be buying some right now.
I can see Tesla touching the 126 line, to be honest. But not any further. Don't even think that Wall Street's going to oversell it at that point. Maybe tomorrow, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like funds are just either Elon selling more, most likely, or funds are probably getting out saying fuck Elon. I think Elon's just dumping right now. Twitter fucked him. He's an idiot.
I will give some credit to Elon about one thing. This is the one thing I'll give him credit for. Dude has done a good job, especially in a high rate environment, of limiting company debt. Even Twitter, he's pulled back a lot of its debt, and he deserves some credit for that, even through all the other stuff he's done.
No, he's a genius. He's book smart and all that.
Bro.
Politically, he's an idiot. That's the thing, right? If he wasn't this dumb right now, I wouldn't even think Tesla would have like crashed below like 200 or 180. Everything else, Tesla just got displaced from NASDAQ after he bought Twitter and went on those Twitter.
Ironically, if the CEO of Twitter would just get off Twitter, it would probably do best for him.
Hey, Rad, are you smoking pot?
No.
You have a serious case of cottonmouth. It sounds like I'm listening to NPR right now.
Oh, my bad.
By the way,
just messing with you, man.
Regarding Elon, to be honest, I can see that. I mean, personally, I think he's a great guy. He does have great visions, and as we can see with Tesla, he did a great job. The problem is, at some point, and once you've amassed such a big following, almost cult following, you've got to get a little more serious. It's not about just memeing. I mean, memeing stuff is fine, okay. I don't mind it as an investor, at least. The problem is, at some point, you've got to be a little more serious regarding your business ventures and looking at Twitter. I mean, before Elon took up Twitter, it was just a giant piece of shit, to be honest. As a business, it was just ridiculous, to be honest. But the problem is, he made promises he just could not keep. Logically, even if you say, "Oh, I want freedom of speech in Twitter," at some point you got to ban someone. It doesn't matter. You can't just have fanatics roaring the bullshit on Twitter. So at least say, I'm going to be a little more open towards both sides. I don't want any libtards or Republicans trying to bullshit their way onto Twitter. You know,
Elon he's just an idiot. He's not people smart. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Especially towards investors.
Exactly. Just go back in your hole, make good products, and hide. Like he thought he could like solve every problem. Like you can solve molecules and like manufacturing processes. All that's like science based. When you're trying to like think you can solve how people interact with each other, he's a fucking idiot. Like, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, though. His business ventures were extremely profitable. I mean, he was, at least during like COVID and 2021, he was basically number one on the internet. But the problem is just you can't keep it up forever. Sometimes you just say the wrong thing, and Twitter will just split apart into two parties, one party being your supporters or your followers, and the others are just saying, "Oh, he's bullshitting his way through Twitter. He's just pumping and dumping," which it might be, okay. But honestly, I say just try to stop when you're ahead. You know, what made Elon so incredible is just he was so laid back. So it was just kind of the nerdy guy who made a lot of money and who likes memes, and that's what made him quite sympathetic to us, at least. as the internet audience. The problem is once you've reached a point where you just honestly step over a line and go too much into politics, because honestly, I think he just shot himself in the knee by going too much into politics rather than just saying, look, I tried my best to facilitate freedom of speech on Twitter, and not just saying, oh, I will try to facilitate freedom of speech for the right wing and left wing. No, you just say, overall, I'm going to try to facilitate freedom of speech and keeping censorship to a minimum. And he was just being too political for his own good. Therefore, I say, just go back to the old Elon, go back to the old image, and just stop when you're ahead. Don't try to over push your position. At least from a PR perspective.
I'm actually getting ready to scalp some more puts on Trashler once it gets above 130.
By the way, sorry guys, can you hear the music?
Nope.
Nope.
What?
You silenced your other account.
Weird. What? All right, interesting. I guess I'll. Oh, what? Well, there it is. Do you hear it now? Mr. Krabs?
I'm
Good. I see you coming.
I can hear it at the moment. But by the way, guys, can you see that post in the comments section just about 9 minutes ago? Because I can see it. I can't see it even though I'm refreshing Reddit. Because I've posted some minor DD towards the S&P, but rather the economy. So I'm not quite sure if you can see it. Can you see it?
I picked up some 382 spy calls for tomorrow. Hopefully, it takes up a little bit with the PCE numbers.
So I'm looking at I'm on TradingView, looking at all the meme stock portfolio stuff. Apparently, Party City for Q3, they have a profit margin of negative 74%. And a net income of negative $372 million. I don't even know how that's even possible for Fiesta City to lose that much money. I don't know if anybody's still part of the Purple Gang, but they are actually making a comeback on the fundamentals.
You mean the mattress company?
Their profit margin's getting better, and their income's getting better. They're actually making profit.
I just remember that one guy who wrote it from like $1 up to like its top and made millions on that company.
Oh yeah, I remember. Man, even Senate took out a line of credit from business too. I'm like, this is some ballsy move.
Wait, any news on the indicators regarding Tesla?
Oh, I was just saying I want to gain puts if Tesla goes above 130. But it's been like way too unpredictable.
What kind of time frame though? What kind of time frame to expiration?
Oh, time to expiration is just weeklies.
Okay.
Just scalping.
Oh, yeah, okay. Because to be honest, long term, I can see Tesla dropping below 100, to be honest. At least dropping below 120.
I mean, that's probably true. It's just I've lost way too much money trying to play the long game on Tesla, so I've just been scalping my money back.
The only thing for Tesla that they may luck out is that people are fickle, so they probably won't remember in a couple of months how dumb Elon was. If Cybertruck and FSD actually rolls out.
So another nice meme stock to hang on to is actually Wendy's. Their fundamentals are looking significantly better than they did in the beginning of the year. The revenue's been up along with their net income. Profit margin is creeping up quarter after quarter. So I might get into some Wendy's plays, well, shares. Oh man, anybody remember Genius Brands? That damn streaming channel?
So I'll bring up a company. I think I've probably brought this one up before. It's so hard to remember. But one that I've been looking a lot at recently is a company called UR Energy, URG. Uranium mining company, which, yes, that's what I play. But big thing for them right now is they just got contracts rolling into starting up next year. They have now contracts from the U.S. government to refill the strategic uranium reserve that the government's putting money into as part of the infrastructure bill. And they've now, 2 days ago, announced they're going to be starting up their second project, which is their Lost Creek mine. They have a mine at Shirley Basin in Wyoming. They have a second one now they're going to be revving up in Lost Creek, Wyoming, which essentially signals that they're getting their books filled and they're going to start going from not making money to making money, which is always a nice place to find a company.
Do you think they'll grow by 4% in the next year?
Yeah. Once they get those mines going and they start selling into contracts, they should see some good return.
That's why I'm so... to be 100% transparent, I used to be 100% for the past 10 years, all the index funds, but that just made sense. Now we're going against another tide. Stay in CDs, and why invest? I'd rather just invest or put in 99% in CDs and then 1% into some naked calls for weeds fucking 2 years out.
So my issue with the CD is you're essentially signing up for, and you'll get it, by the way, but you're signing up for a 4% return in an 8% interest environment, right? So you're essentially saying, take away 4% of my spending power every year. And the bank will be very happy to do that for you. They'll definitely give you that.
For sure. And then I have to pay taxes on the gains as well. Right?
Right.
So that 4% becomes like 3.
Right. So you're essentially taking on return-free risk, right? You have no return, but you'll have the risk of it.
Whilst nowhere else can you for sure lock up your money for 8% gain. Right? Either you go short economy with all your money, that's crazy, or you just sit and collect 4%.
Or you position in things you think will give you better than 4% returns, right?
Well, buy a McDonald's franchise.
Well, that's kind of like going against the market, guys, right? Like we all know there's a lot of uncertainty, especially in the past 2 years. Why invest into it?
Because the market's not a uniform entity. Just because SPY goes down or the market goes down doesn't mean companies all go down in uniform. Different, right? Like if you're worried about the market pulling back, go consumer defensive, go into healthcare. They tend to do better in times of recession, right? There are sectors that do well in times of recession. So it's not just like
we're seeing declines in a lot of those sectors, and even like REITs. Everything is getting slammed.
On a short-term view, yeah, but again, you would assume, again, there's only so many data points because the market's only existed for so long, but you would go by the data to say that you should feel comfortable in those sectors, assuming that you feel it's going to be a recession and the market's going to go down, right?
Well, nothing goes up forever. I mean, you'd be crazy to just keep believing the same graph. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, pre-COVID, we were overvalued immensely.
Oh yeah, it rescued a lot of really bad fundamental companies, like Kodak. Remember Kodak?
Let's put it this way. Despite the market going down, I don't think anyone who went into oil and natural gas feels bad about that investment, right? So there are always going to be sectors that go up despite the market.
Guys, a company looking to for calls, I say, would be Lindsay PLC. They've merged with their American sister, and yeah, the main source of income is industrial gases and then engineering of well, I think production plants or something. So just saying regarding the situation in Russia and Ukraine and the ongoing shortage of nat gas or just overall gas, I think it might make sense to invest in maybe an energy sector based company, just like Lind, because if I remember correctly, Lindsay is actually listed in the S&P and in the DAX, German index, basically, and yeah, the market capitalization should be, I think, a couple of billions. I'm not quite sure though. One sec. Sec. Yeah, 160 billion. So just saying, might be interesting for long-term calls, especially regarding Q1 or Q2.
Opinion, how are your grinder shares working out for you?
It's about the research you do, right? Not the things you learn along the way. Not the money you make.
I FOMO'd into Grinder last week.
Blowing off your position.
And I've lost a lot of. Well, I've lost like $50 on that.
Oof. It's like probably got to be like 50% or something.
I still think long term it'll be all right, but we will see, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I would imagine that they have a pretty strong business model. Like, it's not like people are just gonna stop using it.
I still think
So,
it's worth buying right now. Buy the dip.
Opinion, would you say they are rock solid?
ha, ha. I mean, look, it all depends on their fundamentals, you know. So, channeling my inner goofy.
I mean, the business model is great. Dudes be horny, and Grinder sets up horny dudes with horny dudes, or I guess horny women with horny women.
Hey,
Let's be fair.
there was that guy that said, and and it's
It was
funny.
me.
You're always gonna have new users, you know. You're always gonna have people turning 18 years old and hopping on Grinder.
It's not really about the business model, it's just about the nature of the product they're selling, because it makes sense in times of high inflation, companies should do their best to logically avoid costs with all their measures, and yeah, profits, just like trying to.
Hey, hello everyone. Can you guys hear me?
No, sorry, man. Maybe fix your mic.
Good. And I see that the guy who betrayed me is not here in the room, so it's a good space to today share with you real bets. Okay, real bets. So I'm gonna be very quick, short, because I'm busy, guys. So basically, you should be opening a big, massive short to the FTSE 100 index. Okay. You are welcome. Okay, this is a free kind of advice, free money. Say again?
Ticker?
The ticker is Z.
Z?
Yeah. It's a double short FTSE 100. Okay. FTSE 100 on the technical side, touched basically again. There is a ceiling. You can open a chart if you believe in chart. Otherwise, let's talk fundamentals. UK is fucked up. You know that very well. The consequences of all the interest rates and housing market crash, whatever. UK is a very small kind of relatively small country compared to the US. So the effects that you see is immediate, right? And it always works. So yeah, do yourself, favor. Stop looking at, Kramer bullshit or whatever, gamma, beta, those kind of things are basically, ripping you off. Open a short, big short to the UK stock market and enjoy. This is the next round of the bear market. So good luck, everyone. Thank you, Opinion. Thank you for, letting me in, again. I won't fail you. And yeah, have a nice morning, right? You just woke up in the US and in Canada. So yeah, guys, see ya. Bye. Talk to you tomorrow. Yeah, bye. Love you. Bye.
So are you proposing this trade based on the strikes or what?
What? What strike? Fundamentals, man. Real world strikes. Holy shit. All right, I'm leaving. Bye.
Sorry, guys. What I wanted to say earlier regarding grinding got interrupted. What I wanted to say is, well, companies that have a low cost structure, especially regarding the flagship products, always excel in times of inflation because they can avoid costs, especially material costs, which in today's age, regarding gas price, overall resource prices going up. It makes sense for companies such, I don't know, like gaming companies, CD Projekt, Activision, Blizzard, and things just over on the software sector, making bank. It's actually quite logical regarding the costs and the cost structure of their products because they can avoid said costs, especially material costs. So I do understand why someone would try to invest in Grinder, especially looking at the tip at the moment. again, guys, just wanted to say, Linde is probably free money in the long term. Again, great market cap, great revenues, extremely relevant, especially in Europe. So just saying, especially during the energy crisis, the revenue, the market cap, and overall the structure and and the sectors and where they operate are so incredibly undervalued, not undervalued, but slightly below the intrinsic value. So I'm just saying, maybe for mid-term, maybe even long-term play, it might make sense to buy into Lind. Just saying.
Anybody been looking at semiconductors? I know there's been some well, I know it's been a popular sector for a while, but I know there's recently apparently been some bullish news for the sector, quote unquote.
Personally, I stay out of semiconductors at the moment, at least, because long term it might make sense, but honestly, I know it might be kind of stupid, but I would just wait in order to time the market a little bit, because at the moment, looking at China's COVID numbers, it seems like they might go into lockdown again, or at least try to tighten the laws around COVID, so might have an impact on the economy and the exports, and also that tension between China and Taiwan, two of the biggest semiconductor producers in the world. I don't know if that's so smart to invest. It's such a volatile environment at the moment because personally, I'd say the risk outweighs the rewards, especially looking at like political risk premiums you get out of factor investing into an ETF, trying to represent the semiconductor sector. Just saying, I'd personally say political risk premium does not allow, or just does not outweigh the actual political risk in of itself. Just saying.
Special thanks to whoever's buying up all the Carvana puts from me. Thank you.
Sorry, you closed your Carvana puts position?
Yeah, 50% increase, but they ended tomorrow, so I took the 50%.
Yeah, that's smart. Good for you.
Very
Take that
nice.
cash.
Cash money.
Do keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, it is close to tax season, so realizing those gains will come back to you in April. If you are, however, down on the year, then congratulations. You'll owe less in taxes potentially. So you got that going for you. Either way, make it work. And if you're Canadian, then I don't even know if you get taxed. How does that work? What goes on?
We definitely get taxed. We don't have short-term versus long-term, though, which is something I've always appreciated. We also don't have pattern day trader rules. So you can trade as much as you want if you have less than 25 grand. Yeah.
So do you just bring a bunch of maple syrup and drop it off at the Ottawa offices, or what?
Oh, that's pretty well. They have a pickup service now, so it's a little easier.
Actually, every Canadian simply gives one kidney when they turn 18 to the national health system, and in exchange, that covers them for their life as far as all the payments go.
I'm just imagining the health system being like, what the hell are we going to do with all these kidneys? God damn it. Who implemented this policy?
Yeah, I only got one working one, so it's a good thing I'm not a Canadian then.
But yeah, I think it's a little quiet right now in terms of like trading activity and even kind of just discussion. Even though, like markets are tanking and everything, it seems like a little bit of a slow period. Some people talking about tax harvesting their losses, or tax loss harvesting. There you go. So I think once the year rolls over in 2023 January, we'll probably see a lot more exciting talks. Hardy, I think, is coming back soon. Same with Loose and Simple. Simple was here yesterday, right? So, but I think they'll be coming back a little bit more regularly once the year rolls around. A lot of people on vacation and stuff too.
I will say it is odd as can be that AMC was down 25% pre-market on a total screw you move by the CEO, and that was just like a 3-minute conversation that we moved on. I feel like 2 months ago that would have been the talk.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think at this point, the whole narrative is just like, yeah, we got to buy and hold this forever. And there's a lot fewer kind of like traders actually trading it. So not so much of a Wall Street Bets topic anymore, which I honestly, I can say like I'm a little bit glad for that.
I think it's also because Simple and Loose weren't here. They would have, Simple especially would have been like, all right, bring up any AMC believers. Tell me, why will AMC be fine?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just, pretty much any smart person by now has figured out, they're just going to dilute this shit out of the shares. And like, why would you hold AMC? That's just like, no smart person is going to do that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the difference between the two CEOs, between GameStop and AMC. You've got the one guy who, like, on AMC side, who's telegraphing everything he's going to do, talking, directly to shareholders and all that. And then on the other hand, you have someone who's very secretive, and not really saying too much. No Q&A period on their calls. So, two very different, approaches to the whole meme stock thing. Like both their companies got afflicted by the meme stock curse, I suppose, or gift, and they both handled it very, very differently. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top at the end of the day. But I think so far, I think it's probably the AMC CEO who was able to sell all his shares relatively high, and really capitalize on that.
Now I'm gonna take on the controversial statement of the day, so you can take me later opinion. I actually think AMC long term better set up than GME long term, only because what has been AMC's issue? It's been debt while they wait out getting their theaters back online, getting big movies that people want to go to, and getting the business running. What has AMC been doing? Finding ways to raise capital to fix that debt. So say what you want about the CEO, but at some point, if that stock gets low enough, there might be an investable company left behind that's cleared off its books for the most part at the detriment of all the people who've been holding and has a future.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. I mean, like, look, theaters are a very challenging business, but at their core, they're profitable sometimes.
If they can get all their theaters open, they will make money, right? So it's really just a matter of, can they survive the debt that they have until then? And so far, it seems like they might. But again, people, I'm sure no GME holder wants to hear those words because now I'm the number one enemy, and I'm sorry. It was actually the hedgies who paid me to say that. DRS your shares. I'm a liar.
Aren't movie theaters kind of like one of those really shitty jobs that's always minimum wage and nobody wants to really do it? I mean, with the quote unquote labor shortage, I mean, they're gonna keep having that issue, right?
It's good for a high school. Sorry, I was gonna say it's good for a high school kid, because like if you think about it, okay, you work at the movie theater, you get to run the projector, and you get to like watch movies, and then you kind of chill and get paid, and you're in high school, so whatever, right? So it kind of depends. It's not a career job, but if you're like in high school or maybe just starting college, it's not bad. You don't have to live off it, right?
Good news, everyone. Oh, it's like good news, everyone. I just made my daily quota for trading. Not that you guys care.
I care, and I'm very happy for
What's your quota? What's your quota?
Negative $100. Just kidding, just kidding. No, it only made it $200. I didn't feel like trading too much to it.
I'm happy for you. I really am.
Yeah. Same here.
Thank you, thank you.
I want everyone here to make money, even if I talk poorly about a stock like a GME. I do root for the apes. I hope. Go ahead, go to 10 million, make all the money, apes. Go for it.
Even the people that work at movie theaters.
But yeah, on a serious note, though, can't believe I'm saying these words. I think I'm actually going to start looking a little bit into AMC on the financial side because it's getting low enough that there might actually be a company worth slowly positioning in. God, I feel disgusting saying those words out loud, but at some point it gets low enough, right?
You know, I can
I might
see
consider buying some
looking at
calls next year.
I will buy more ape units because if they're continuing to transfer debt from there, that would actually be a decent play.
It's a one-time thing. They're going to vote, it's going to convert, and then ape doesn't exist anymore. And then they can issue a bunch of AMC shares as through the ape conversion, because ape permits them to issue a bunch of shares, but once it's converted to AMC, then they can issue AMC shares. So there'll be more dilution in AMC, so I'm not jumping in yet, but after that, and they can use that to clear off their debts, even if it's like a penny stock, it might be worth it. And don't worry, Opinion, I'll be sure to release YouTube videos wearing my cat ears as I talk about the deep value that is AMC.
There. Wait, but I thought I am not a cat. Isn't that the whole thing?
No, he's not a cat. He's just rich.
But the
But
truth
then
is,
you're wearing cat
he
ears,
was a
so I'm
robot.
confused. Oh yeah, sorry, robot cat. All right. Well, if we're talking about robot cats, I think that's when you know that we got to start wrapping things up. Do we have any other last topics to wrap us up or end the show?
Yeah, Mullen actually shipped their EV vehicles. They arrived in Europe today.
It's a little early, but it's time to start scaling into Boil, BOIL, Bloomberg Natural Gas. Usually January is when it starts picking up. So I ran cold a couple times, which was the bearish. It worked well, but we're almost to the point where Boil is going to make its increase in January. So I'll probably even buy some calls in the 30 range for late February, or yeah, somewhere around there when it picks up. But BOIL.
Guys, question. I really enjoyed the content. I'd like to hear more in the afternoons. Do you guys get together in the afternoons when work's slow, or
if you want to look?
We usually talk in Discord voice chat. I think there's a link in the sticky comment. Occasionally we'll do like a earnings call kind of talk if there's something interesting going on. I think you'll probably see more of that in the new year. But yeah, that's kind of what we do in the afternoons to try and, because there's a lot of people who want to listen in, and the notifications really only go out like 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So, and then after that, it's just kind of whoever trickles in or finds us or hears about us some other way. So yeah.
Well, my thing is mornings, every corporate bastard is pestering me on fucking Slack, In the afternoons, I can fuck off and listen to this. This would be great,
Some people from here have another subreddit opinion. I'm not going to try to beat up Wall Street Bets, but watch for the Confused Money subreddit. We do tend to talk through the days and evenings when Wall Street Bets isn't here, and it is some people from this group. But we love Wall Street Bets, we do. But Confused Money subreddit, we'll have talks throughout the days and evenings.
Opinion, what happened to the throwdown and like topic specific talk idea? Is that just tried it, didn't like it?
It tried it. It was kind of challenging to keep it up, and then Reddit removed the discovery live bar thing. but I really think like maybe in the new year we'll try it again, like try it full force and throw everything we got at it, because I think it's a pretty cool concept.
I mean, I had a blast
Look at
with
it this way.
Throwdown.
Look at it this way. Right now, I'm taking stupid sexual harassment training, and I'm free and I'm here to listen. But usually in the morning, I'm in stand-ups, coding, whatever. Like mornings are busy. If I could listen to this in the afternoon, and I'm on the East Coast, like morning is good for some people.
The Reddit does create a recording of it, so you can go back later and listen to the recording.
Yeah, that's true.
Good call.
And we've also got all the recordings as well on YouTube if you want them to be like easy to find, because I know it's a little bit hard to search through the Reddit app.
Oh man, somebody's gonna hook up voice recognition to that thing.
Nah.
Hey, CCO has an increased short interest of 15%. This is very interesting.
Yeah, but is it very interesting though?
That kind of gives us like a general idea of where the big money's going to think that the cruising industry is going to be.
Yeah, fair. Are you starting to doubt your cruise line thesis?
Oh no, I wasn't actually bullish. I was actually bearish when we were talking about it on Monday, because I was concerned that they were cutting all the commission, and that they were also like cutting all like the perk packages. I mean, they're dirt cheap to get in, but you're buying things left and right. So, they're definitely having some experimental changes on their business model, and I guess big money does not like it right now.
Right on. Well then, I guess we'll keep tracking it, keep tracking all of the cruise line stocks and see where they go. Scald had a really good system, I think, of keeping track of everyone's trades, and I think I'm going to try and do the same. I mean, today we talked about Mullen, Boyle, a couple others. Like, I think it'd be cool to get some track records in here and see who out of all the worst traders in here is the best.
Opinion's going to be releasing baseball cards for all the traders. Complete stats like percentage hit.
Hell yeah, that'll be fucking dope.
Percent gain. We're all going to think it's a super cool idea until we look back at it and realize, like, other than Hardy and maybe one other person, most of us are at like minus 80%.
I'm gonna also release them all as NFTs, similar to the Trump trading cards, which I just looked up, and apparently, I mean, they're still like 3 times above what they like minted for, which is like holy shit.
I'm waiting for the Magic the Gathering Donald Trump collab, where they release the Donald Trump set, where all the creatures are just 1,000 1,000s and completely break the game. Coming soon.
Love it. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. We'll see you all tomorrow, Friday. And then remember that next Wednesday, the 25th? Wait, that's not Wednesday. That is a Sunday. Okay.
You
Well,
mean Monday the 26th?
is that the day that's closed? That
Yeah,
market is
federal,
closed?
yeah, Monday the 26th is the federal holiday. When it falls on a weekend, they push it to the Monday.
Ah, okay, perfect. We use a different calendar up here in Canada, probably like lunar or something. So, thanks for clarifying. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we'll see you all Friday, and hopefully we'll have Hardy on. So make sure to chime in. All right. See you guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.